Welcome in, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Great to be here with you on a Tuesday morning. I just thought it was Wednesday. I panicked. Paulie hit the Jukebox Hero intro. I'm all messed up. All messed up. Standard. It's pretty standard. Just getting through it, but happy to be here with you guys. Happy to be here with my boys. Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
I am fantastic. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Good morning to you, Benjamin.
Good morning. You're messed up a little mentally.
Yeah, well, I'm just tired.
You told me you didn't make it to the end of the game last night. That's rare for you.
It so is, man.
I'm a little messed up physically. I think I slept funny a few days ago. I got this, I don't know, pinch right below my right shoulder blade in the back, just like someone's stabbing a knife back there. It is, it's not debilitating. It's just very, very uncomfortable.
Is it muscular?
I can't tell if it's a nerve or it's a muscle, what it is. It's just kind of gingerly move it around back there and doesn't seem to want to get better. So it's getting old.
You know, it is. And
otherwise I feel pretty good, actually.
my kids in school, they do
Lisa said, I pulled something with my high five. That could
be it.
That is right there. Yeah, right there.
When you high five as inefficiently as you do, that's exactly what it could be. My kids both do yoga at school, so they'll bring them out. Oh, let's show you this and that, and they love it. It's fun, and I keep telling Bo, like, hey man, the older you get, the harder it is. You need to stretch. And one lesson I never learned when I was, your coaches would be like, all right, you guys need to stretch, but nobody stretched you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the older I get, I'm like, man, yoga and Pilates, I think would be really good for every member of this show. I've
never done Pilates.
I haven't either. I've done yoga and it was really hard. But
Club Pilates.
Yes, Hacksaw. Thank you.
Now, we do know where we could go if we needed.
What are the details on that? I forgot.
Are there details on where we could go, Paulie?
Where would we possibly go?
Right now, today, we're offering you 5 classes for $50 at Club Pilates.
$10 a class.
San Diego's premier Pilates studio. Club Pilates offers the most Pilates classes and reformer classes in San Diego. Conveniently located off Marina Boulevard, right in the heart of San Diego.
Okay. There you go. $50.
No one has ever said Pilates, like in that copy. Go to QC Kinetics. It's QC Kinetics for your QC Kinetics. It's QC Kinetics. It's Sedano Ford for Sedano Ford and in Sedano Ford, Sedano Ford. It's 4 Pilates in 3 seconds. Play it again. Listen to the Pilates count.
Right now, today, we're offering you 5 classes for $50 at Club Pilates. San Diego's premier Pilates studio. Club Pilates offers the most Pilates classes and reformer classes in San Diego. Conveniently located off Marina Boulevard, right in the heart of San Diego.
Holy crap. Club Pilates and Pilates for Pilates and Pilates. Someone handed him that copy.
Crap.
Like, hey, this just came in. You got to read this.
And that was probably from the early days of Pilates.
Of Pilates.
Who knows what this is?
It's Ben and Woods for Ben and Woods on Ben and Woods on The Fan. It's Ben and Woods. Just an incredible piece of audio. My wife says I can't even say it right. Pilates. I'm going to call it Pilates for the rest of my life. She says we wouldn't make it. But then they also said it strengthens your core. But my kids are doing yoga, and it's really important to stretch our body. I just don't like to stretch. I don't really like it.
I love yoga.
They have those machines. If they attach you to a Pilates machine, do you have to do anything, or does the machine do all the work?
No, you have to do.
You still have to do stuff.
You have to pull your fat ass up the thing.
Yeah,
I think I've walked by.
They don't just push a button and it goes.
No, okay. I've walked by Club Pilates before in Encinitas and looked inside
Club Pilates
and gone, oh my God. And every person that ever does Pilates says, this sucks. Like, it's great, but it sucks. It's not fun. So maybe it's not for us. Yeah, somebody says, it's not plugged in. Ben.
Pilates.
You just get on the machine and it moves for you.
Like a shake weight or something?
Yeah, no, you even have to shake that. That'd be kind of cool, though. They just strap you to a device like, hey, turn it up to 6 today, and it just kills you.
You know when you'd
Club
watch the
Pilates?
Jetsons, that's how they'd work out.
how they
They'd just
work
top in a machine, and it would just do it for them.
So good. Holy cow. Well, yeah, I did. I slept through, stayed up until it was 3-1. And it wasn't one of those things last night where I thought, oh, we got this one in hand. It's
a laugher.
Yeah, laugher. I was still, on the edge of my bed, I guess. But we had our T-ball party last night for the Bats is the name of our team. So we went to the pizza joint, and I did the superlatives for all the kids. And, man, I made it until the very end. And I saw one of the dads tear up, and then I started to tear up. And I did Bo's award last, so it made me tear up. I ended up giving him the biggest grinder award instead of the MVP because, Hannah thought it wouldn't be fair. And I told him when I picked him up from school, I was going to give you the MVP. Your mom said no, but just so you know, you're my MVP. And
So who did get MVP?
Nobody. There's no MVP handed out. Apparently, you don't want to tell these kids they're most valuable. But I mean, he's a great player, but he does grind really hard. Grounders before the game, grounders after the game, hitting at home, grounders all the time. I've never seen a 6-year-old work as hard as he does. Really, honestly, like. It's pretty impressive. So I gave him that. And then I got to the end, and I saw the dad tear up, and then I teared up at the end. But I made it all the way. Usually I choke up for the first award, and I made it all the way through. I was very proud of myself. But I did, man. At the end, I was like, it got me. It was cool, man. I love these kids. They're very special. So shout out to all the Bats, and I love being their coach. And
Are you going to do it again next year?
Well, now, so this is the issue. Not an issue, but this is what's going to happen. So you get 1 through T-ball, and you're like, oh, God, that was excruciating almost. It's hard. I mean, I've told you the story before of you're right next to the freeway with 4-year-olds. They can't hear, and it's loud, and you're screaming at them to pay attention and keep your head in the game. And I don't want you to get smoked with the ball and all that. Well, Taylor wants to play, and all the siblings of the kids I coach now, they all want to play. So now I will now coach all of the other ones and coach Bo's machine pitch next year. So I'm in it. And you can't be the dad that's like
Picks one son over the other.
like my dad did, right, with my brother. Yeah, you can't be that dad. My dad coached, I think he coached my team once, and he was like, I'm going to coach your brother because he actually has a future in this. So, yeah, does it sting at 48 years old? Yes, it absolutely does. So I'm going to have to go out and I'm going to do this. I have to do this all over again. And now coach 2 teams. So that's what I will be doing for the foreseeable future. It's fine. But no, it was awesome, man. The parents are great. We have a good little crew, and I loved every second of it.
Had a nice meeting after the show yesterday as we continue to make prep for the Ben & Woods 3rd annual-ish Chrome Tour Open coming up next Wednesday. And just want to shout out to Jersey Mike's, who has been added on as one of our donors. So we're going to have some Jersey Mike's sandwiches, I believe, available next week as well for all of our participants. This is the last 4 days you have to sign up. I'm told by Goat Hill we need to get all the names to them Friday, Saturday at the latest. So we're closing registration on Friday. There are just a few slots left. If you want to sign up, please do so now. You can do so as a foursome, twosome, individual. We'll put you together with other tier 1s. If you want to play, we'd love to see you up there at Goat Hill Park next Wednesday for either the morning, 8 a.m., or afternoon, 1 p.m. shotgun for the 3rd time we've done this. And I'm never going to promise that there's going to be a 4th or a 5th. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure you get in because this does require a bit of preparation to put together.
I was thinking about it this morning. I saw a young lady post on Twitter, what do dads want for Father's Day? And I thought to myself, golf is always a great gift for Father's Day. And you could go buy a foursome for him and his buddies in the afternoon. The morning slot, the morning flight is almost full. So got a few slots left in the afternoon. That's a hell of a Father's Day gift. Hey, babe, I know you listen to Ben & Woods. Go on out. They're going to be drinking tequila and eating sandwiches and playing with the glory hole and all kinds of stuff. We got a heckle hole. It's going to be a really fun time. So decent Father's Day gift if you're looking for any last-minute ideas. So, yeah, and it just makes sense, right? You get it bought today. You got to get it in by Friday because we do have to close it. And then it's next Wednesday, man, and we are rolling a week from tomorrow.
So hopefully, if you already have that day off, we have it off, so that's why we kind of picked it. But we'd love to see you out there at Goat Hill next Wednesday.
It's going to have so much fun. So much fun. Got a lot of stuff planned. Got really killer prizes and adding to those raffle prizes every day. And it's been awesome, man. Lululemon's bringing some stuff for you guys to win. We've got booze. We've got Padres stuff. We got a suite. I mean, that's just the raffle alone.
A couple of cool Padres experiences, whether it's tickets from the Padres in their VIP seats, or you can sit in the Odyssey suite.
That's right.
For a game.
Yeah, with 19 of your closest friends.
By the way,
if
you're not a golfer but want to come and hang out, there's room at Goat Hill Park where you can come, hang out, heckle people on the 10th hole,
buy raffle
and then
tickets.
you can buy some raffle tickets and be eligible to win the same prizes, including the night in the suite. We got VIP tickets to the Padres game. We've got some unbelievable packages that we're going to be giving away, and you don't even have to play in the tournament to come buy raffle tickets. You do have to be there to buy raffle tickets, though. They're not available online or anything, though.
Satan's Blowfish wants to know how many days off will the show have for the Ben Woods Open. So we picked next Wednesday because it's a company holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we picked it. So we're not taking any time off.
We would have been off
anyway. We're just happening to host a golf tournament on our day off. But
was there discussion about taking the next 2 days off to recover?
Correct.
There was, but at the moment we are planning to be here on Thursday and Friday morning.
Depends on
Thursday's a big day. Round table.
Yeah, we have a round table. Yeah. Our big boss is in town too, so we have to be there for his 1 p.m. meeting. And so
like
that's
the CEO of the company or the president of the company or something. Yeah,
like the annual, you cannot miss this.
Correct. Somebody will. People will.
The annual, please, Ben, don't fall asleep during the meeting.
If you fall asleep at this one, I'm not going to blame you because we got, it's going to be a long ass day on Wednesday. And it depends on how much Maestro Dobell I suck down, if I'm being completely honest, if I make that meeting or not.
We're talking like a 12 to 14-hour day on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Oh, easily.
Probably more.
Then we'll come
Thursday,
in, do a show,
we're
round
come
table.
In at 5 a.m., do a show.
Yep.
Round table.
Meeting.
Over at 11.
Go sleep in my car for 2 hours.
Oh, man.
You got to go to work later.
Yeah, Mr. Odyssey himself,
That's right.
Carlos. Jim Odyssey is going to be here.
That's right, Jim Odyssey. It's going to be great. And again, that meeting is at 1 p.m. So that'll be good. And should be a really fun next week, but would hope to see you guys out at the Ben Woods Open.
What's wrong with a convenient 4 a.m. staff meeting?
Exactly. Let's flip the script a little bit. Paulie posted the link in the chat, put it on social media as well. We are closing shop on Friday, so get them in now. Great Father's Day gift.
All right, let's get going. We will set the menu when we come back. Padres talk on the way after a 6-1 win over the Oakland Athletics last night at Petco Park with some interesting happenings during the game, including the lights going out at Petco Park. Later in the game, we'll talk about all of it coming up next with Ben and Woods after our first check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Guess what? The Padres are at 500.
Shocker.
They are. There's a magnet right around 500. Keeps drawing them back in. They get a couple of games over, sucks them right back. They fall a couple of games under, sucks them right back to 500.
Tractor beam. Suck me right in. Every time. Every time.
Can they escape with the next couple of days against the Oakland A's in town? We'll find out. We'll talk about the Padres with their Padres Wrap-Up coming up here at the bottom of the hour after the 6-1 win over the Oakland A's last night. It's a fairly usual Tuesday show, which usually means a good one today. Coming up in our 7 o'clock hour, do want to talk a little bit. I heard Tony Gwynn Jr. just going off yesterday about Dan Hurley deciding not to coach the Los Angeles Lakers. He was a lover scorned yesterday.
You know, I guess City of Champions and the Los Angeles Lakers, I guess it's just not what it used to be. And it hurts. You know, I don't see what I saw in my 20s when I look in the mirror anymore. And I have to be okay with that. I can't lament what I used to be, right? And listen, when you're the Los Angeles Lakers and you get turned down by a college basketball coach that you were willing to make like the 5th highest paid coach, gotta hurt.
Second time, because it was Mike Krzyzewski who turned the Lakers down 20 years ago on a similarly lucrative offer to remain at Duke University.
Well, and it always looks terrible too for the next guy who's like, yeah, I'm happy to be here. I know what he was offered. I didn't get that. I didn't get who's the other guy? Duggar or
James Borrego has been interviewed. JJ Redick obviously has been rumored, but who knows who they'll end up going with.
That is a very, very tough scene.
Tony was not too pleased though.
I did not hear it. Here's what's funny. I almost tweeted that exact thing. Again, I guess it's not what it used to be. I didn't want his wrath, Tony, because he's a huge Lakers fan. And I figured, you're a Lakers fan. I don't care about your wrath. But his I did not want. I want him to like.
F you.
I want to be the guy on our show that he actually likes.
I almost wanted Dan Hurley to take the job more to get him away from UConn to stop beating San Diego State.
Fair enough.
In the NCAA tournament every year.
It's a bad cycle all around.
What's the opposite of the kiss of death? Like if San Diego State and UConn have any scheduled matchups or play each other in the tournament, you can rest assured UConn's going to go on and win the whole thing.
That's correct.
3 for 3.
Yeah, if they're going to be in it and you're in it, it's not going to bode well for them.
Yeah, the Aztecs are the Huskies' lucky charm. You see them in the bracket, and all of a sudden, it's our year, boys.
Bro, I saw people tweeting yesterday, like Laker fans that were just going through it. They're like, we lost out to Storrs, Connecticut. Like, you'd rather stay in Storrs, Connecticut than come to L.A. And
get a membership at like Bel Air.
Oh, bro, the perks there. I mean, you saw Lincoln Riley's house in L.A. It's ridiculous.
That was USC.
That's USC. That's the Lakers. That's GD Bus. It's pretty interesting. Obviously, he. I don't know that he ever wanted to go, but you do want to use that.
Good question.
Drive that leverage up.
Did he play the Lakers all along? We'll talk about that a little bit at 7 o'clock. Take on Woods. Got a great prize this month. Already had a winner yesterday to qualify for a trip to the Fontainebleau and concert tickets to either Hootie and the Blowfish or, if you'd rather, the Smashing Pumpkins. You get your choice on that prize.
What would you pick, by the way?
I'd pick Smashing Pumpkins.
You would?
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Oh.
Over Hootie?
Oh, yeah.
You're lying through your teeth.
100%.
Really?
Yeah.
Ben's just out there at Fontainebleau. You and me. We come from different worlds.
I'm blown away.
I actually like the Smashing Pumpkins quite a bit.
More than Hootie and the Blow?
I wouldn't have guessed he could have named 2 songs.
6 years. I did not know that.
I mean, I can't name more than 2 songs.
But
I do
when
like
you hear
1979 a lot. Really good
79's
song.
a good one. Today. Today is the greatest.
Yeah, it's a good one, too. And the Hootie's signature song annoys me.
Hold My Hand.
And the other one, All I Want to Be With You.
Oh, yeah, terrible.
I don't like that one at all.
Terrible.
Sorry.
Well, good for you, man. Got much cooler.
Good, I'm glad. That's a do this for Ben. We'll have Don't Do This coming up at 7:20, featuring one Buster Olney. Had a tough day yesterday through, well, I want to say no fault of his own, but, I mean, it might have been his own fault. If his password is like ESPN123.
It's Trade Tatis 69 was his password.
Then maybe it was his fault as he got hacked yesterday on X, and someone had a lot of fun at Buster's expense yesterday. So get to that and Don't Do This. More Padres talk going into our second half of our program when Jesse Agler will join us at 8:35, the voice of the Padres. Little incorporator. If you want to start thinking of your vocabulary words, please join us in our YouTube chat. Leave your word, your suggestion for Jesse to incorporate into tonight's broadcast, and we'll have that coming up for you at 8:35. Paulie's got a Reindl Report in our 9 o'clock hour, and then got another game to look forward to tonight as the Padres continue second to last game of their homestand as they host the Oakland A's. Randy Vasquez, JP Sears, 6:40 tonight. So we'll get you ready for that one, and that's pretty much the menu for today.
I like it, man. Let's get it.
You're good to go?
I'm good to go.
You want to just get started?
Let's get started.
All right, let's just take a break then, and we'll come back, and we can talk about last night's game. Everything that happened at Petco Park last night with our Padres wrap-up. We will get to that coming up next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
They seem a little angsty for you. You're not a real angsty guy. Smashing Pumpkin.
But sometimes I like listening to angsty music to make up for the fact that I don't have a ton of angst myself.
Wishing that maybe you were a touch more angsty.
You got to find the angst in your life somewhere.
You
filled a nice void for me and angst that I think I was missing for many years, and now I can live vicariously through your angst.
Oh, my God, I'm full of angst. Yeah,
I like this song.
Yeah, of course. Pumpkins are great. A great band. I'm proud of you. I'm very impressed.
That blew my mind.
It was like I gave him an option that I thought I knew the answer to, and it's always nice when you can be surprised by your friend and radio soulmate.
Yeah, not particularly close. Pumpkins over Hootie.
It's amazing. I'm blown away.
Well, your chance to win either coming up at the top of the hour and take on Woods. But right now we're going to talk some Padres baseball or Padres Wrap-Up coming up.
Finally.
Right after a check of traffic.
The winning montage.
That's right. It's been
finally.
weeks.
It's been 3 weeks.
Weeks since we've gotten to hear the winning montage, and we will right after Kelly's traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware on University Avenue in Hillcrest. Just a couple problems here. Southbound side of the 805 before Imperial, we have reports of a tire in middle lanes. Also traveling on southbound 5 at Carmel Mountain Road, stalled car in the center divide. The grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware on University Avenue in Hillcrest. Now through Father's Day, save up to $200 on select Traeger wood pellet grills. You heard right, up to $200. The grilling store at Hillcrest Ace Hardware, where service still matters. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Oh my God, I'm so stiff.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
What up, crew?
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
I like it when the Padres win.
Yeah! Yeah! It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else. Yeah!
Give me a do damage.
Do damage!
This pitch hit in the air high and deep to right center. Long run, Fernando. Long run, Merrill. They're at the wall looking up, and it's going to go. Long home run to right center field for Soderstrom. That is his second of the year. And, boy, he put one out where we don't see many go. The A's take a 1-0 lead in the second. 2-0 hit in the air to very deep right field. Cronenworth way back and gone. A home run to tie it 1-1 here in the bottom of the third inning. His 10th of the year. Here's the 1-0. Kim swings. It's a liner to left, pretty much at Andujar, and it goes over his head. Merrill's going to round third, come in to score. Kim on his way to second to throw in the tag, and he's out. I think Andujar just kind of hesitated as that ball came right at him. Needed to go back just a little bit. Next thing you know, it rocketed over his head. But the A's catch a little bit of a break there as Kim is thrown out at second base. But the Padres do lead for the first time tonight. It's 2-1. 1-1. Estes delivers. Hit in the air to right. Deep. Cameron twisting around. Looking up. This one. Gonna go! Off the top of the wall and right and shooting up over the home run deck. Another home run for Fernando. It is 12th of the year yesterday. This is number 13. And that is a 16-game hitting streak. And that is a 3-1 Padre lead. Merrill swings, lines it into center field, and a base hit. Cronenworth has scored. Manny will be held at third base. Got the bad hip. RBI single. Jackson Merrill is third hit of the night. And the Padre lead is 5-1. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a miss. Flew him away with a fastball at 1-0-1. And Suarez strikes out this side. 1-2-3 in the top of the ninth inning, as the Padres have a workmanlike 6-1 victory over the Oakland A's in Game 1 of this series.
I feel like we talked about it, that sweet spot of combination of things, base hits, walks, homers, and that's what, a holistic offensive machine looks like. So it's take what the game gives you, and that's what we're doing. Great at bats throughout. Guys have the right kind of focus, intent, and the execution's been really good.
Excellent win. Excellent win.
A feel-good night at the ballpark, starting with the return of Manny Machado to the lineup as the designated hitter. Certainly wasn't 100%. You could tell that running was not on the menu necessarily for Manny Machado. He is enough to get to first base and second base when he needed, but no extra bases taken. It's going to be station to station for a while, I would imagine, for Manny Machado. But he got 2 hits, and it was good to see him back in there. Obviously, the notable hit was once again Fernando Tatis Jr. there, extending his hitting streak to a career best 16 games with that solo home run, his 13th of the season in the 5th inning. So, 2 days ago, he hit a 93-mile-an-hour fastball that was right on the outside corner, over 400 feet to center field for a home run. The one he hit yesterday wasn't even on the outside corner. It was about 6 inches off the plate outside, went the other way with it, and it's the first time that Tatis has hit an opposite field home run like that since last September. Now, if that's not a really, really excellent sign for Tatis, I don't know what is. That is vintage, classic, pre-suspension, pre-injury Fernando Tatis Jr. going the other way right there.
It's good to see him feeling it again. You know, watching Fernando Tatis Jr. when he is at his best, I can't think of another player I'd rather watch when they're locked in, honestly. Like, he is electric on all sides, in all facets of the game. And, you know, we've seen some flashes of it defensively this year. Well, we've also seen some not great defense from him this year. We've seen some barrels that didn't, get out. We've seen some barrels right at people. But to watch him on this hot streak that he's on right now reminds you of the kind of talent that he is. And, again, I don't know if it's bits or whatnot, but, I mean, I legit saw a good portion of our audience and the Twitter family writing that kid off. He's never going to get back, the surgery, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's in him, and if you're not sold yet after what you've seen, I have a feeling good things are going to continue to come for him, man, because he's so confident right now at the plate. And again, like you said, when you're hitting pitches off the outer third out, and you're hitting balls over 400 feet to dead center that are a little bit away as well, it's a really good sign for him. He's got to keep it going, man. You need his contribution, certainly. And I love what I've seen from him, man, this last couple weeks.
Jake also went deep, double digits for him, 10th of the season.
Center cut, man. My Lord.
The Padres' power has magically returned over the last 5 days, in which they've hit 10 home runs compared to the previous 18 games before that when they hit 8 home runs.
Crazy.
So that's quite the 180 that they've done from being a nothing but kind of singles Punch and Judy team to all of a sudden the power is back. But they haven't really given up the base hits either, which is what Mike Schilt was talking about in those post-game comments. He says the holistic approach, where you need to combine. Yeah, we like stringing hits together, but you also need some walks and you need home runs from time to time to really have a full-powered offense. And we have seen that in at least 3 of the last 4 days when the Padres have put together fairly convincing victories.
If you told me before the game yesterday, hey, your table setter, your leadoff hitter, Luis Ariz, is going to go 0 for 5, how do you think you'll do tonight? I would say probably not great. But he, listen, the team picked him up. He's not hitting all that well at Petco Park. I was texting with some buddies about it last night, and it's a bit confounding, Benny. His OPS split on the road is 934 in away games, 598 at home. He's batting .246 with a 541 OPS at home. When he was in Miami, he was hitting .272 with a 678 OPS. He generally hits better on the road, at least from his last 2 places that he's played. But so, Petco Park remains a bit of a mystery in that I know the power surge has come back the last few games, but we remember at the beginning of the season, we couldn't get one out, and a lot of other teams were holding us back from hitting home runs. Now you're taking singles away from us as well. How do you construct a team that is perfect for Petco Park? I really don't know.
Well, what is Petco Park? Petco Park historically has been one of the hardest places to hit home runs in baseball, except for this year when it's all of a sudden become one of the easiest places to hit home runs. Mike Schilt was asked about it after the game. He doesn't really know why.
Weird, right?
Why the ball is flying. At first it was for the opposing team.
Correct.
Now the Padres are jumping in as well. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Home runs aren't up anywhere else, just at Petco Park.
Explain it.
There's no new buildings. There's
Did the wind pattern hasn't changed?
Did they change the humidor that they store the balls in at Petco Park? What is different about Petco Park this year compared to the first 19 years of the ballpark's existence? They didn't bring the fences in.
No, but
nothing explains this right now.
In Arise's case, you're a singles and doubles hitter. Should be a pretty decent place to hit singles and doubles.
Jackson Merrill's the same way, though. His splits are very extreme, better on the road versus at home, although yesterday, 3 for 4, and looks like he's getting more comfortable at the plate at Petco Park. His average is up to 281. He's been driving the ball with even more authority lately, and it looks like he's kind of settling in. This is the first Major League Baseball season, obviously, for Jackson Merrill. Even the minor league seasons, quite a bit shorter, quite a bit less grueling and grinding. In a minor league season at this point, you're already more than halfway done and looking toward the home stretch. 70 games, you're not even at the midway point. It's a long year, and that is one of the hardest adjustments for rookies to make. And he and Tatis have said some of the similar things about their offense, that they were doing good things early in the season, but then when they weren't seeing results, they started changing to try to get results. And then they both realized, I can't be results-driven. I have to be process-oriented, and went back to what they were doing.
As hard as it is.
Even though it wasn't working, and now it is working for both of those guys right now, just by staying within themselves and trying to be the best version of themselves, even though, sometimes it doesn't work because it's baseball, and you hit balls right at people, and you're not getting the kind of results, you're not getting the kind of lift sometimes, but ultimately they both kind of realize that being themselves is what is ultimately going to lead to the most success.
Yeah, I was looking at Crony's numbers, too. Crony is one of the few guys that actually hits better at Petco Park than on the road. He's very comfortable here. It's not a stark difference, but it is a difference. He is a better hitter at Petco Park than he is away from Petco Park. But like you said, before last night, I mean, Merrill was dying at home, and now he seems to be getting it locked in a little bit more. Just huge nights from those guys. Dylan Cease, again. It's weird because I'm watching him throw last night, and it's like
he was all right. I mean,
but the stuff, I don't know what it was. They were getting good. They were getting some barrels on some balls early, but he's so good. He's pitching out of jams and getting that K. I still saw the Blake Snell comparison on Twitter last night. I still really don't see it.
But he only walked one
guy late. Yeah,
Cease feels like the ultimate settle-in-er.
He
struggles in those first inning or two sometimes, man, but then, God, once he settles in,
he's able to
electric.
kind of tighten it up and was really good. I mean, really, really good outing from him.
8 hits is a lot for Dylan Cease.
It is.
But
against the A's. Yeah.
But the A's, and we talked to Mark Conte yesterday, and they mentioned on the broadcast, they are 4th in the AL and 5th in baseball in home runs. They're going to run into one every once in a while, and they got the home run from Tyler Soderstrom in the second inning, another early home run surrendered by Dylan Cease. But they strike out a ton. They struck out 16 times yesterday, 8 against Cease, 8 against the bullpen. It's hard to complete a rally. Even if you get some hits, if you're having that many strikeouts, you're just not moving the runners over enough, and you're just relying on, we need one with the runners in scoring position. They didn't get it last night, and that ended up being the difference in the game. So Cease was fine. He's kind of alternating the wins and the losses, and back to the wins. A couple of just negative notes. Are you ready to move on?
Ryan tweeted in and said, "Is it the batter's eye?" I mean, look, they had a batter's eye. They changed the batter's eye to the ivy, and then they took the ivy down because that sucked, and so now they're back to just the regular batter's eye. There's no explanation for why Luis.
But it's not like the pre-ivy numbers were anything like this, home run wise.
Well, and again, I'm really just talking Luis Ariz. Like, I'm talking Luis Ariz. Why can't you hit it? Why he can? Why do you hit better? And maybe it's just too small of a sample size or whatever because he hasn't been here that long. The numbers are pretty stark.
You mentioned something you saw about left field.
Yeah.
And being
a little more shallow, you can rob some hits there.
And I do think with the left-handed guys, and you see this with Ariz, and you see it with Cronenworth, when they go the other way, they don't have the power to go the other way for a home run. But it's harder to bloop balls in because it's not that deep of a field.
Yeah.
Whatever, the marine layer, whatever, for lefties, it's just not a power go the other way kind of park. Soto could do it, but very few can. So it takes away some of your options. It
So
does
back up the left field fences a little bit.
back them up, maybe.
A little bit.
Possibly,
2 feet, 3 feet, whatever.
Well, I don't think they're going to. I mean, that's a lot of construction to do. You're not going to do it right now.
Seems easier said than done.
Adjustable fences. Has anyone ever thought about that?
Yeah, little leagues, 100%. They exist.
Okay, I'm not going to belabor the negative points. Another base running blunder by Ha-Seong Kim. Those have got to stop.
I disagreed at first, and then I saw the replay of him admiring it, and I went, come on, man.
So I will say there's some room for interpretation on what happened on his go-ahead RBI single off the wall that made it 2-1 in the fourth inning. He absolutely roped a ball. It was like 106.6 miles per hour. But it looked like it was going right at Andujar, the left fielder.
So maybe he thought he was.
And I thought maybe he thought he had just lined out, and it's like, oh dang, I lined out.
I thought he had it.
I don't think he thought. There's no way he could have thought that was a home run. It was so low.
He hit it so
hard, but it was on a line. There was it never had the height to be a home run. I can't imagine that he thought that it was going out, no matter how hard he hit that.
Maybe
I think he thought it was going to be caught.
Maybe he thought it was a line out.
I think that was more likely. Whatever was going through his head, he took 2 or 3 beats before really taking off.
Yep.
And because it was hit so hard and came off the wall quickly, when he tried to stretch it into a double, he was thrown out by a large margin.
I'll tell you this, though. Nobody wants to hit one off the wall and end up at first base. You just don't. It's like I think it's a pride thing. You know what I mean? You don't want to have the longest single of the night.
But the guys who do that are the guys who hit it the absolute hardest as well.
Correct. Yeah. So it was it is what it is. Didn't come back to hurt us.
Shohei had a couple of those.
Yeah.
Just absolutely smoked
I can't
it
go
so hard.
I can't go anywhere.
They
played it perfectly. Right.
You're playing deep already because they're good hitters, and then they smoke one hard off the wall they can't make it to second.
That's kind of that aggressive base running that doesn't necessarily. Now, Benny, if he sees it out of the box as a hit and he's running hard to second and Andujar bobbles it and he tries to go to third with the play right in front of him, that's the one where I'm like, you're already trying to get in scoring position doesn't make me insane. It really doesn't. It did not come back to hurt us. Adam was like, well, he would have scored on the next.
Luis Campusano hit a ground rule double.
Baseball doesn't work that way. You know that. He's in the stretch versus the windup. He's whatever. Like it just actually he'd still be in the stretch, but the pitch selection's different. You just never know. You can't forecast the next result. But no, it didn't kill us. Swiped a bag later. Got that bag back. I wasn't terribly upset with that one.
The other thing that I saw some complaints about, but I disagree on this one, is that some fans question the usage of Robert Suarez.
I disagree too.
In a non-save situation. He hadn't pitched since the previous Saturday in Kansas City.
He got to get some work.
At some point, you do have to get him in. I understand. I know how this works. Padres will need him now like 3 days in a row,
Correct.
and he won't be available because
that.
He pitched. But had he not pitched today, then they wouldn't have needed him for another 2 days. And you go, I wish we had gotten him in that game when we had the lead.
Well,
there's just no way to know the future. And at some point, you just have to use players. You can't leave your best players unused for a week and a half at a time.
Well, especially when you've used the hell out of your other guys. And I mean, he was your freshest arm by far, and I understand the need. Now, having Estrada come in for one pitch, if you need somebody to close in 2 days, he can do that potentially. So I understand that. He probably didn't want to use him, but he's I got to get this dude some work. He got to stay sharp. He threw 15 pitches, right?
Yeah, he mentioned that Suarez, he'd gotten hot a couple of times in the interim between his appearances that was close to an appearance, like all the way ready to get in. But it's not the same. You have to get him into the game at some point.
Yep.
You just can't. You can't wait 2 weeks. It could end up being 2 weeks if the Padres, have another big win. They don't have an off day until next Thursday, or they have one on Monday. No, they have one this Thursday, right? Yeah.
Are they off this?
Yeah, they're off this Thursday. So. If they needed him 2 days in a row now,
they're
got
off Thursday, but then they're not off again for two Thursdays.
But if it came down to it, and you absolutely needed Robert Suarez tonight and tomorrow,
I think you can do it.
You have the off day on Thursday.
Yep.
So I'm okay with Suarez going
Got to
into the
get
game
him some
tonight.
work.
All right, that's some thoughts on the San Diego Padres. We'll come back.
That's 101, cuz.
Danny Hurley rejects the Lakers, take on Woods, coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. you ever turned down a good job offer? Like one that you really like, this is legit. It's a tough decision, but I have to turn you down.
No.
You have not.
Nuh-uh.
Paulie, how about you?
I'm trying to think. Not really.
We should be so lucky.
Not like, I mean, nothing that was so lucrative that, life-changing money or anything like that.
Generational wealth.
Right.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. I mean,
Or just a good opportunity. Not necessarily was more money, but it was like, I've had a couple where I've had to think about it.
Yeah.
I had an offer to early in my career to move up to a radio station in Los Angeles. It was more money, but I didn't know anybody up there, and it was like, I'm a San Diego guy, and I felt like I wasn't quite ready to make that move yet.
Good
so
for you.
I didn't do that. I stayed
glad
here.
you didn't. I wouldn't have met you.
And then, like 6 weeks after we started, I actually got an offer to come over here.
What?
You knew this, right?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did know that. I remember. That was so panic-inducing.
I almost came over here. Before.
You did too?
Yeah.
Before Ben? No, but
Yeah,
they didn't offer me anything.
Well, we
here.
had just started, and I like the early momentum and the vibes, and we just signed a
Vibes
deal.
were terrible.
Our
when
old,
we
our
just
old buddy
started.
that moved over here from the old station
Yeah.
originally wanted me to come over to the studio that they built just for him.
Oh, yeah.
And I said no.
Yeah, that's a smart move. That's a really smart move.
I don't know that was a better opportunity.
No, I had an opportunity. It was when I was at 94.9. I got semi-recruited to move to Portland to do
So
radio.
you kind of had a possibility there.
Bro, me in Portland? Come on. I mean, I just started dating Hannah too, and I was like, "Look, this may happen," and she's like, "Absolutely not! Like, I'm not moving to Portland. So if you go, that's it."
Deuces.
And I was like, "Well, A, you're really good looking, and I'm not, and B, I don't want to move to the Pacific Northwest where it pisses rain all the time. I'm out. I have no desire. Nothing
Get
against
your Blazers season tickets. And
I'm
you're good to go.
I'm like a depressed guy. Me up there, just good morning. Forget it. There's no way.
No Major League Baseball.
Oh my God, man! It would have been terrible. I think it would have been music radio at the time, but I don't fit in Portland. I know that. So it was nice to be courted. But that's about it. So nothing like this. These are the ones that you look at, the opportunities that Dan Hurley have, and you go, holy smokes, man. Like, that's no joke.
Well, I wonder when I turned down the offers, was the place that I turned down, were they embarrassed that I turned it down? I mean, it wasn't public, so as like Dan Hurley rejecting Lakers. The headline on ESPN, Lakers are embarrassed now, but they can recover after Hurley's rejection. Is there always a degree of embarrassment when you publicly offer someone a job and they say no? It's a repudiation. It's a rejection of who you are as an organization. And it certainly, I don't think, is because they didn't offer enough money. Although some say that the Lakers offer was not overwhelming. It was a good offer, but it wasn't a offer you can't refuse to Danny Hurley.
6 years, 70
million would have been.
Didn't Woj originally say like over $100
Yeah,
million?
this would have made him one of the top, I think, just outside the top 5.
Yeah, 6
head coaches paid in the NBA, which is great for a guy who's never coached in the NBA before. It's more than he's making at UConn for sure.
Correct.
But at the same time, it comes with a whole new set of challenges. It's a big change. You're going to have to change your coaching style. And you're not positive it's going to work on the next level as well. And you also have this history-making run you're in the middle of 2 straight championships. Only John Wooden and UCLA has ever won 3 or more in a row. And you've got a good team coming back that a lot of people expect to be a top 5 team. You haven't even threatened in one NCAA tournament game in 2 years. You've won them all by double digits.
Yeah, like the easiest money you could ever make was betting them last year with double digits.
It had to be hard to walk away from that. Yeah, walking away from Stores to LA, I'm sure there was some enticement to like, okay, would be very exciting. But when you are having such success in a job and you know you can keep it going because what you're doing is working and it's working so well, I can understand Danny Hurley's choice.
I
really can.
I can imagine.
Calls do college coaches get that we don't get that don't get reported?
That you don't
Kirby
hear about.
Smart.
How about Brian Dutcher, man? You don't think his phone's rung off the hook?
Did Hurley's agent maybe leak this out to make sure that UConn knew about it and to, force a new, better deal? Probably.
Yeah.
He's probably playing the game as he should play the game when something like this comes in. I understand that. I don't know how necessarily embarrassing it is for the Lakers. They're one of the only teams that probably had the gumption and guts to go shoot for the moon and reach for the brass ring and one of the biggest names.
Settle down with the gumption and guts bit. Good Lord. Come on. That's a huge reach.
It's a bit of a rationalization. Sure.
From a Lakers fan. The gritty, determined.
Credit to them.
Credit.
Nobody's ever been turned down as good as the Lakers got turned down.
We get rejected so good. We are the best at it. No, I mean, look, I like it for bit purposes, right? Obviously. But I think it's a touch embarrassing. I do. Like, you threw some money out at a big name that you wanted, and he shot you down. And you do have that. I think if you're a Lakers fan, just like if you're, there's certain brands that you are synonymous with greatness, and I would do anything to be a part of. And when somebody turns it down, it's shocking. It's jarring a little bit.
They are a first-class organization.
Yeah, and if he turns down the Nets job or the Timberwolves job, you're like, all right, it makes sense, whatever. But nothing against the players that they have.
Timberwolves would be a good job.
It would be, but they're not. They're not the brands that the Lakers are. Oh, what is that?
It's Basketball Woods.
What did you do to it, Paulie?
Obviously, I can't have the same basketball song as you. It's so unhinged. I love it. Let it play. So this is when I talk basketball.
Yeah.
This is what I get. You want to hear what my brain sounds like? This is it. Listen, this is what my head sounds like every day, every minute. From the minute I wake up. Check it out.
Up and then down. And then stays down.
It's also very indicative of the San Diego Padres season right here. This could be the Padres theme song.
Let's get back to your wheelhouse with some Take on Woods. We need a contestant. 833-288-0973. Call now. We'll play in like 2 minutes. 833-288-0973.
That's so good, dude. I love it. It makes me, what it makes me want to do? Start following basketball more so that I can hear it more.
Don't follow basketball at all. Just talk basketball.
Talk basketball.
I think the problem here is that whoever the Lakers do hire now is going to feel like a bit of a disappointment.
100%.
James Borrego is not going to
Who is he,
get
by the way?
anyone
Where
excited.
Is he from?
USD.
Oh, he's USD?
He was. He was an assistant at USD. He was. He coached. He's been a head coach. Yeah.
What? Okay. When?
Let's see. Let me look at James Borrego's history. He's currently an assistant. He was the head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans, I believe.
He was recently.
Let's see. He was the Pelicans assistant right now. He was the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets from 2018 to 2022.
I've never heard his name.
Never
once.
He's in the Pop coach tree as well. San Antonio under Greg Popovich for a few years. Probably found him at USD where he was an assistant from 2001 to 2003 at the University of San Diego.
2001? I wasn't even here.
No. He was an assistant. He wasn't the head coach. I didn't know him back then either. He was a completely unknown college assistant back then.
So that's the thing.
Or it's J.J. Redick, which, of course, comes with its own lack of experience issues. Or maybe there's another surprise candidate we've yet to hear about.
Well, and Adam's in the chat asking, the next candidate got to ask for that same bag, right? I mean, you don't probably not, because they're not bringing the at least the college championships that Hurley was bringing with him. But, yeah, I think it's a bit of – I mean, like you said yesterday, Tony Gwynn Jr., huge Lakers fan, maybe the biggest I know. He wasn't mad. He's spurned. Like, it's spurned and scorned. Like, you expect that deal to get done. You expect that to get closed. And when you get rejected, it doesn't feel good. Doesn't feel good at all.
It's the reality check that the Lakers aren't they're not Showtime. They're still LeBron. They're still cachet. But there's a lot of NBA teams with some pizzazz now, and the Lakers are one of them. But they're not far and above everybody else. They're not immune to the ups and downs of the NBA.
Sure.
So we're seeing that right now. All right, I see some people calling in. Let's get to it. Let's see if we can qualify another winner with Take on Woods. Eric, are you there? Because if you are, you're our contestant.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Eric. All right, here's what we've got. 5 questions of musical trivia. You go first. Woods goes second. If you beat or tie him, you will qualify for our monthly grand prize, a 2-night stay at Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. Tickets to either Hootie and the Blowfish or Smashing Pumpkins, you know who I'm choosing, at the Blue Live Theater, and a $150 poolside dining credit. Summer room packages and tickets are available now at FontainebleauLasVegas.com. Your advantage is getting the category. Here are your choices. It's not false. You can figure that one out as you go, but not that complicated. Over Under Part 2, song titles that include either over or under, or End Game, which are 5 song titles that include the word end. So It's Not False, Over Under Part 2, or End Game. Eric, what would you like to play?
Let's do Over Under.
Over Under Part 2. We did Part 1 last week. We got 5 more song titles that each include the word over or under. 60 seconds. If you don't know an answer, you can pass. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. First question's the 2-second song. Paulie's going to play a little music. You need to give me the song title with either under or over in it and the artist to score that point. Eric, are you ready to play?
Let's go.
All right, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays our music. Good luck, Eric. Let's take on Woods.
Under the Bridge, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Correct. Which song from their 2008 debut album is the highest charting American hit for the English indie band Florence and the Machine?
Pass.
Vanilla Ice was sued for copyright infringement due to the bass line similarity to which 70s classic by David Bowie and Queen?
Under Pressure.
Correct. The title of which 1991 hit by Lenny Kravitz is based on a famous saying by baseball's Yogi Berra?
Pass.
Which song from the debut album by The Fray was originally performed with the title Cable Car?
Pass.
Go back to which song from their 2008 debut album is the highest charting American hit for the English indie band Florence and the Machine?
Pass.
Go back to the title of which 1991 hit by Lenny Kravitz is based on a famous saying by baseball's Yogi Berra? Now, you did get the 2. You got Under the Bridge and Under Pressure. You didn't get the over songs, though. Dog Days Are Over by Florence and the Machine. It Ain't Over Till It's Over by Lenny Kravitz. And Over My Head by The Fray. 2, I don't think is going to be good enough.
Yep.
Let's bring Woods back in. Hang on the line there, Eric. We'll see.
Never know.
Ties do go to the runner. In this case, the contestant. Woods doesn't get the category. All right, 60 seconds back on the clock. Your time starts when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Woods. Let's take on Eric.
It's Under the Bridge, the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Correct. Which song from their 2008 debut album is the highest charting American hit for the English indie band Florence and the Machine?
Dog Days Are Over?
Correct. Vanilla Ice was sued for copyright infringement due to bassline similarity to which 70s classic by David
Under
Bowie?
Pressure.
Correct. The title of which 1991 hit by Lenny Kravitz is based on a famous saying by baseball's Yogi Berra?
It ain't over till it's over.
Correct. Which song from the debut album by The Fray was originally performed with the title Cable Car?
Read it again.
Which song from the debut album by The Fray was originally performed with the title Cable Car?
Under.
You know the category.
And I don't. Under my taint.
Over my head.
Over my head, under my taint.
It was over-unders again. We had a second one, but you did win 4-2 today. Eric, thanks for playing. But not today. Woods takes it on over-unders part 2.
That Lenny song is top 10.
What do you think I
so
got to keep
good.
up?
Just unbelievable.
Such a good one.
Unreal.
We'll let Paulie play us out.
Did you see the story about him that he has been celibate for like
Like 9 years?
Like 9 years? Lenny Kravitz. It's like
Maybe he's just not good looking enough.
Yeah,
To, you know,
sucks. You
have
just
any
can't
options.
close any biz when you're Lenny Kravitz. Like, are you kidding? It's a Ferrari parked in the garage, man. Like, you got to take that thing for a spin every now and then, my friend. 9 years he's been celibate. He's a monk. Breaks my heart. Breaks
It's
my
all
heart.
about the music.
I guess he is, man. I love him. I just what a great dude he is, and just so talented. Played every instrument on this record.
Wow.
Every single instrument.
Wow.
Wrote it, produced it, composed it. Brilliant.
Heard this song last week when I was in Las Vegas. We're just walking around some casino and like the hallways from casino to casino, and I heard this song. I have not heard this song in
It just
years.
slays me, man.
Absolute banger.
The whole record's
It's
incredible.
so good. Yes.
All right. It was pretty much over for Buster Olney on Twitter yesterday. We'll get to Don't Do This as we listen to a little Lenny Kravitz heading into traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. First, Don't Do This goes to me because I forgot to tell you the Take on Woods was brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Now I have to tell you that Don't Do This, brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sereno Valley. Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today at thecrafttaco.com. My bad. I apologize. Shall we just get right to Buster?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just get right to Buster only. So I woke up, or no, I was on the Peloton, and I didn't have my phone for like half an hour yesterday. And I get off the Peloton, and I first tweet I see from Buster only is that the Mets are finalizing a deal that will send Francisco Lindor to the Oakland Athletics. Sources tell ESPN.
Wow.
Obviously, I am
going for it.
I am surprised, to say the least.
Shocked.
My first thought is, okay, this is a parody account of Buster Olney.
Correct.
And then I see, no, it is Buster Olney's account. So my second thought is not hacked. My second thought is, will he be here in San Diego in time to be in the lineup tonight for the series opener? Probably not, but we'll probably see him before the end of this series, right? I mean,
Francisco Lindor, the shortstop for the A's, at like $300 million. What he's just such a problem in New York. We had to unload him.
The Mets are probably eating some of the salary. Yeah. I don't know what's going on here, but maybe he really likes Sacramento and was excited to play there for the next 3 years. I'm not sure what's going on.
In that minor league ballpark, get those numbers up? Man. So you really bought into it.
For a second. Then I saw the next tweet. And then I saw people
read them,
joking.
Read them.
You want to just read them all?
Yep.
Let's see. At Buster ESPN. The season is canceled due to COVID. Ouch.
That's actually happened.
At Buster ESPN. Shohei Ohtani has been banned for life from the MLB in connection to charges with gambling. His trial is on August 28th. It is speculated he could get life in prison.
Life in prison for gambling.
At Buster Olney, just mentioned the big Lindor trade. He then tweeted, in response to, I believe, someone else asking him to
do it.
At Buster ESPN, I hate Mets. All caps, Mets.
Just Mets, not even the Mets.
I hate Mets. Yes.
I love Lamp.
I love Lamp.
At Buster ESPN, the Philadelphia Phillies and Chicago White Sox are finalizing a deal that will send star outfielder Luis Robert Jr. to Philadelphia. Sources tell ESPN.
Now that may happen.
That
could
seem
happen.
pretty reasonable,
may
actually.
happen. I've heard they're going to be in the market for an outfielder.
Did a real tweet sneak in there while he was being hacked? I'm not sure.
Read that last one.
At Buster ESPN. Okay, if I get an unlimited prison sentence, who will come and bring panties?
I've been waiting like 14 hours for him to read that one. That was incredible. It was like some...
Do they not provide underwear in prison?
Not other people's. That's what they wanted.
Oh, I see. Not for himself.
Correct. For himself, but not to wear.
Not his.
Not necessarily.
Not
right. People buy that. Who am I to shame what people are into? But
Ben, have you ever done that?
No.
He also tweeted, excuse me, this is a little adult. I will have all your mothers, you guys will see it. Was one. That is a little one. That's pretty adult and hardcore.
On the adult side.
Now, I did see, like what always happens on Twitter. Something happens, everyone gets a laugh out of it, and then there's like one wet blanket. This is actually not funny at all because that means that this and this could happen. It's like, all right, man, just relax. Now, the good news is Buster only blocked me a long time ago. He's going to have to create a new account, I would imagine. Right? He creates a new account.
Well, the tweets have been deleted, so I'm guessing he got back in somehow.
Yeah,
maybe.
But if he has to create a new account,
what is he got like over 1 million followers, right?
Yeah.
Like, what do you do?
What do you do? You're just
when you realize,
like
your phone probably is blowing up. For all we know, he was on the phone with somebody when it was happening.
On the Peloton,
on
maybe.
the Peloton.
Yeah.
You look at your phone. Everyone's texting you. Hey man, like I think you got hacked. Hey man, I think you got hacked. Like, does he call ESPN, ESPN Legal, or IT? Like, what do you do?
I'm sure he calls a lot of people.
Yeah,
at
there's
that moment.
a lot of people.
Yeah.
That I mean, because honestly, they're like, should we be worried about Buster Olney? Is he having a breakdown right now?
I think our show account has, like, I don't know, 17,000, 18,000 followers. Just a good amount, for sure. But it's not 1.5 million or whatever. Like,
imagine having to start over. You know?
Oh,
But,
man.
I mean, it's his whole life on Twitter. You know, it's his whole shtick.
I don't know. It's his whole life.
Well, but like he does but like that's where he's super duper. He's not like he sends a tweet a week. He's extremely active on there. So for somebody to get him, the best part was they didn't even know who he was. And then once they figured out who he was, they started doing fake trades and everything else. So
you don't think he was targeted necessarily? Someone just
they
stumbled.
They definitely are like
upon
who
access to his account.
He's like, who is this? You know. And then once they figured it out, he started taking requests, and that's when he wrote "I hate Mets," and then started doing fake trade proposals. Which I thought, now if you had been hacked and started doing fake trade proposals first, that would have been elite. But they didn't know who he was. So yeah, protect your stuff, your passwords, and whatnot.
I mean, if no one had known and he had started with that Luis Robert tweet, it would have.
I would have retweeted it.
It would have been
I
big.
wouldn't have because I'm blocked, but other people would have retweeted it and said, "Oh my God, the Phillies are all in," you know, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, obviously he didn't know who it was. It's a rough day for Buster Olney.
Let's get right to do this here as we're at the bottom of the hour.
Mega doo-doo.
As I mentioned, the U.S. Open week is underway at Pinehurst number 2, and when players walked into the players' locker room this week, they were greeted with a locker for Grayson Murray and a plaque on the locker. I thought this was a nice touch by the USGA. 124th U.S. Open Pinehurst, Grayson Murray. The USGA remembers Grayson and pays tribute to the playing accomplishments that merited his place in the 124th U.S. Open Championship. And then a quote at the bottom that says, "Be kind to one another," which was something that Grayson used to say, of course. Murray committed suicide on May 25th and shocked the entire golf world when he took his own life, even though he's having a lot of success this year and won a tournament earlier this year. Really sad story, and they're paying tribute to him this week at the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I was out when that happened. I was at home, and shook me, man. Shook me that day when I read it and followed up on it the next couple of days. And, you know, obviously, like I always tell you guys, it's okay to not be okay and ask for help. It doesn't make you less of a man or a woman, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of men struggle with this, asking for help, and just never be afraid. My DMs are open. Anytime you need to talk to somebody.
It's National Men's Mental Health Day, or month of June.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it is it's very sad, and not a plaque that you ever want to have to see in there, but I thought it was a nice touch.
Yeah, that's Don't and Do This for a Tuesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
We can talk some more Padres coming up if you want to join us. 833-288-0973. Also, remember that I texted you guys over the weekend when I went shopping? Yes. And I wanted to ask you this question on the air.
This is so good.
If I'm the only one who does this or if everybody does.
This is so good.
Get to that coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Sour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If you're ready to get a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is one who's... Let me start again.
Oh, my God. Impressionals, he said. I just watched him.
I was losing that one
I watched
early.
him shut down. All right, let's take two.
All right. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is your one connection for a summer job in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com. Done. Maybe I need a new job that doesn't require me to speak so much in the morning.
You are in the wrong business.
Speaking of our business and our colleagues, best wishes to our afternoon colleague, Matt Scraby, who had, I think, shoulder surgery yesterday.
Shoulder surgery.
Went to his beloved Kaiser Permanente, where the doctors treated him right. He's always telling you about that.
Yeah.
Seemed to have a good experience, and hopefully he is back soon and better than ever. He's got his weight loss journey done. He lost 40 pounds like I did with SD fat loss. Now getting his shoulder fixed up right. Just everything's coming up Scraby right now.
Scraby is getting worn out on social media, you guys. Worn
because of the picture.
Out.
I saw he posted a selfie from his recovery bed or his hospital room.
In recovery. They did a great job. He says shoulder surgery in the books. Now to get my arm in throwing shape for the Padres.
He had that surgical shower cap on.
Thanks to Kaiser Permanente for taking such great care of me and really caring about my experience. Now, if you look at the picture, there's Matt Scraby, and he looks great. He looks so great and fresh.
I thought perhaps, just having worked in television, I said, did someone do his makeup or something before he took that picture?
Right. And
because there's not a blemish on his skin anywhere.
He looks perfect. And immediately people go, Men's Ray says, bro, this isn't a dating app. You don't need a face filter. The next one, face filter. And people are like, "Hey, man, what's with the filter, dude?" And he goes, "Oh my God, this was about 20 minutes after I woke up. I did not mean to do a face filter. I don't remember doing it." Can you
high on life?
Can you do that?
I don't know. I saw it on Instagram.
I
He
died.
posted the picture, and Tony Gwynn Jr.
Tony did. What'd he say?
Said, first, I'm happy you got through surgery and are on the mend. But if you don't knock it off with these filters...
Okay, so is it something that he does quite a bit?
I don't know.
Polly, I want you to take a filtered picture of all three of us, our faces, and post them, because I want to know what it looks like. I don't think I've ever used one.
I don't even know how.
Again, not to my... How do you do it?
I don't even know what there's many filters out there. This one...
But if I just take a picture of myself, all right, I'll do like the pre and post. Okay, there's one. How do I filter?
Okay, I think I...
Let's leave this to the expert.
How do I
Paul
filter
Reindl.
that?
I don't know. It seems unfilterable.
It looks pretty good, if I'm being honest right now.
We'll take a selfie during traffic.
That poor guy. The guy just gets out of surgery, and you post something, and you just get pummeled. You just get pummeled. Friole says, Woods Cabin. I've never used a filter in my life. Paulie, I don't even know how to use my cable, much less a filter.
Very true.
Now, I've done with my kids, like the dog ears and the rabbit nose, and I've done that on Instagram. But I've never gone in and go, I need to touch up my bags. Have you ever seen me? First of all, have you ever seen a picture of me that looked halfway decent? The answer is no. The answer is no. I got one picture.
There's one decent one, yeah.
That one is all touched up professional photographer. 14 years ago. I still use it on my media credential. It's the only picture that looks great.
I don't even know what it was for. Adam texted me last week, and he goes, Hey, do you guys have any logos with your faces, or just like the words, the Ben Woods logos? And I go, no. Do you know how hard it is for me to get a picture of these two guys that they like?
I won't do it.
It's
damn
near impossible.
Like, Paulie, let me see that. No, you can't post that. My nipples are poking out. My chins are hanging. Forget it.
When we started the show, we went and took the worst pictures down at Petco Park.
We showed the outtakes of them, too. The outtakes were even worse.
So bad.
I'm so mad at that still. I was sick. I had just gotten off a plane. I had just shaved for some reason, and then we had to hold the goofy bats. I mean, they haunt me to this day.
Why are we holding bats? We're not baseball players.
I was so mad.
Made no sense.
I was so mad at that. just to this day, I see it. It makes I'm like, that's why I'm in therapy. Like, I loathe myself, and it's because of those pictures right there. There's some bad ones floating around, man. I'd rather have the picture of me in a diaper. That one doesn't bother me. The bat picture bothers me worse than the diaper one.
Speaking of getting, there it is. Paulie's found it. Look at those.
Let me see.
Look at the.
Oh,
that's so bad.
God in heaven.
That's not even the worst one.
There's.
Oh, you don't have the even worse
I
ones,
got
do you,
the worst
Paulie?
one.
He has the
like
worst
you guys
ones.
tried to redo them,
Excuse me.
and it didn't work out.
That
so
is
well.
terrible. It's just the worst. Paul, you're gonna ruin my day. Anyway, feel better. Oh God.
Not good.
Get it off the screen, dude. Get it off the screen right now.
That one's definitely worse for you than me.
Get it off
The second one,
screen. Oh,
I'm in a
my
97.3 The Fan
God.
polo.
Oh,
It's not good, but it's not great.
Kill me. Just
It's like a six-layered neck.
up. Just shut up. I will come across this table at you. I hate it so much.
Oh,
Curse that man that made us do those pictures. I can't stand him. So mad. Anyway, feel better, Scraby.
it's just the shadows that don't
Yeah,
treat you well in
totally.
this picture.
Totally.
Bad shading is all that is.
I have never taken a good picture, man. Yeah, V-necks were bad. Notice I never wear a V-neck anymore. Ever. Never, ever, ever. I look at those pictures. Oh, Paulie. Bro, come on. That sucks, dude.
Oh.
I look at my wife and I look at that picture and I go, you better hang on to her like grim death because you're never getting another one.
Speaking of phone filters, everyone had their phones out last night at Petco Park when the lights went out. We didn't talk about that.
No.
You missed it. It was
So
only
bad.
like a 3 or 4 minute delay. Paulie,
It's a long delay, though.
What was the cause of the lights going out just in the middle of the game?
I have no idea.
Like a little power surge.
Something happened. It was
Half the lights went out.
it was in the
half
middle
were
of an
still
at bat.
on.
It
Then
wasn't
they all went out for like a split second, and then some of them turned back on. It was very
It
bizarre.
actually looked like a very festive atmosphere as people
It
got
looked
their
amazing.
phones out, turned their lights on. It felt like a concert down there at Petco Park for a while. The mood was good, really good Monday night crowd. I assume it'll be another big crowd tonight for the Joe Musgrove basketball jersey giveaway. But things, the vibe was excellent last night at Petco Park.
Yeah, so like I was telling in Foreplay, we had the team party for the Little League and got home. The kids were a nightmare to put to bed, so we finally got them to bed. Hannah passed right out. So I'm watching the game, and I'm like, I'm feeling pretty good. Great game, 3-1. And then she went to sleep, so I turned the TV off and put the game on my phone. Next thing you know, I wake up to the post-game presser from Schulte. This is what woke me up. And he's in there doing his thing, and I'm like, what did I miss? So I just thought, all right. I looked at the score this is at like whatever time the game ended. Looked at the score. I went, oh, hell yeah, 6-1. And I'm like, I didn't miss much. And then I wake up this morning, I look at Twitter, and there's all this stuff happened, and I missed it.
Well, all you have to listen for is if you don't hear the game at all. If you hear him say alibi, they lost. And if you hear them say holistic,
then they won.
Yeah,
I think I did catch the holistic, and that's what
there
woke
was a
me up.
holistic, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we won. That's good. Something was holistic. That means good news for the San Diego Padres after the game. We need to check traffic, and then I want to ask you that question, kind of a foreplay-ish question about my shopping trip this weekend. Get to that next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the Fish Market, serving the freshest catches from waters near, far, and everywhere in between. Crash still in the clearing stage on westbound at 52. This is right past the 125. Motorcycle involved. It's over the right shoulder. Also an accident westbound King Freeway just before Kenwood. Looks like that is in the clearing stage over the right shoulder. Now getting reports of a hit-and-run crash in the North County eastbound 78. That's in the center divide. It's time for giving sips. The Fish Market is donating $1 for every glass of J. Laura wine and for every Cutwater Jungle Bird cocktail sold to Terry Campus of Life. Stop by the Fish Market in downtown or in Del Mar. The Fish Market, serving only the freshest catches. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So we all have our quirks.
Our little peccadillos.
I've got as many as anyone. One of my worst is that I am an overthinker. I overthink things.
Kidding?
Yes. No, I'm not kidding. I overthink.
Wait, you're an overthinker.
Yes, I am an overthinker. That's why I failed my personality test. I overthink the answers. I just remember I'm an overthinker.
Oh, I remember. You failed fail a personality test.
You have
You
no
have zero
personality.
personality. How did I do on the personality test?
Well.
You got a 0.
Did you
None.
Did you take the test?
We got to do this again.
Yeah, reset that
was
story.
Reset the story. Yeah,
Yes,
reset.
when I was hired at Channel 10, part of the hiring onboarding process, and I was already offered the job. Just a formality is you have to go, like it's Mission Valley, and it was this little office, and they hand you this multiple choice test, and it's a personality test. And you fill in the bubbles, and I turned it in. Didn't really think, take a drug test.
No problem there.
No problem there. Passed that. And then I come to work, 3 days later, and it's like officially time to sign my contract and start my job.
And this is huge. Like
my new
how
boss
old
says,
How old are you?
I am 26.
And they are like, Ben Higgins, we are giving you
Yeah.
a job on television.
Yeah.
You are going to be on TV.
I mean, I'd already worked there for 2 years as a fill-in.
Sure.
So they knew me. This wasn't like...
But you got the gig.
But I had, they wanted to give me the job. The contract was ready. And he said, the first thing my boss at the time said is, this is not going to change our job offer at all. We still want you. However, I just want to ask, is there anything going on or anything, wrong in your life that you need to tell us about? And I go, no.
Why, did you find meth in my urine or something?
No, drug screening was fine. They just told us you failed your personality test. I go, failed? What do you mean failed? Yeah, that's just what they told us. No, he did not pass the personality test. I didn't know that it was like a pass-fail sort of thing. I mean, did I get below 60%? Where's
the first person to ever fail?
I thought there was no wrong answers. This is a test with no wrong answers. How do you fail a test with no wrong answers? And I just assumed that I was, because I do this, I was trying to think of what's the answer a normal person would put. Let me put that, and not what my actual answer would be.
Like what I would do or pay to have his answers. What's the company? I'll call and see if they'll
Back
release
then, it was
it.
actually McGraw-Hill was the company that owned Channel 10. Now it's EW Scripts, but back then it was the textbook company McGraw-Hill. It was standard for all employees.
Do you
Had to take
remember
a personality test?
Do you remember any of the questions?
Not really. I mean, I wasn't thinking at the time it was any big deal. So even at the time when they asked, I was trying to think, like, what did I don't even remember what they asked me. What did I do wrong? And that was the day, 3 days after the test. I couldn't even remember what the questions were. It seemed like a standard sort of multiple choice, like, when this situation arises, what would you do or what would you say or whatever feel, and just fill in the bubble. So
you
don't know what I got wrong.
So
I
you
think I overthought
that.
Yes. And I just find myself thinking about things. I mean, everyone thinks all the time, but I was at Costco this weekend, and it's busy, and I've got my cart of stuff, and I always do this. I look at the person in front of me, and I look at the person behind me, and what they're buying, and all of a sudden I look like the person in front of me has all these vegetables and like egg whites, and I start thinking, oh, God, I am such a load. Their cart is so much healthier and better than I am. And then I look at the cart behind me, and they've got this big tray of like mac and cheese, and they've got these Oreo ice cream sandwiches, and I go,
Good thing I'm not that guy.
no, I go, God, I wish I had gotten that stuff. It looks really, really good. It's like I'm never happy right in the middle there. I'm always judging what other people's have in their carts.
They are
It's
doing
bad.
They
I
are
shouldn't
doing,
do that. I don't want people to judge what I have in my cart.
They're doing the same thing.
Why am I doing it to other people?
They're doing the same thing to you. I mean, I shop at off hours, at the grocery store. They're not prime time hours. It's 10:30 maybe or 11 in the morning. So I don't run into a ton of traffic over at Stater Brothers or anything. But I will say this. I'm always enamored with people that buy like real veg. When I see a cart that has a bushel of carrots, celery stalks, real tomatoes,
Not a bag
of broccoli. When they have a real, and I look at them and I go, "What do you have? Unlimited time to cook? What are you, chef?
Gordon Ramsay over here.
Yeah. Oh, take it easy. Anthony Bourdain. Like I look and I'm like, you just bought all those. And in my mind though, there's a tinge. I go, yeah, that's eyewash. You're not going to use all.
It's
of
a
this.
show.
It's a show. You did that for show. You did it for show. There's no way anyone cooks fresh vegetables and dices them and cooks them and however they make them. I can't do it. I buy the bags of broccoli, the bags of carrots, diced tomatoes if I need tomatoes, already in the little plastic container.
People look at Woods in your cart and you go, that guy's pretty lazy. He
Yeah,
doesn't want to do
that's
anything
it.
himself.
That's
yeah?
it. Yeah, that's it.
Paulie, you said you go even more extreme. You always go to the self-checkout, so you don't have a checker like going through everything.
If I'm concerned about what's in my cart, I'll go self-checkout.
Go self-checkout?
Yeah.
And then they have to come over and they're like, hey, we got a problem here. They got to come over and then
There's
they look
always a
at it.
problem.
I know. No, I do that too, Benny. And
You shouldn't be worried about the cashiers, though.
it's
the people.
Cashiers have seen it all.
Put the item on the table. I did. It's there.
It's
Why
there.
is it not? Put the item on the table. It's there. I did
I've
it.
talked to people that worked as cashiers, and they're like, "It is so you're just going through the motions.
Yeah.
You're not even paying attention."
One
to what
lady
they're buying.
one lady started commenting on everything I had, and it made me massively uncomfortable. Oh, have you tried? They're great. Yeah. Can we just throw them in the thing? I don't want to talk about what I got. I just get me through the line. I'm sure you're
I got
lovely.
this pasta bake thing,
Yeah.
and they said, "Oh, have you tried that? Is it good? You like it?"
40,000 calories. Enjoy.
I don't know.
Just leave me alone.
I thought my
Please.
kids would like it, so I got it for them. It's for them. It's not for me.
This guy says growing veggies that I cook with would put Wood's brain in a blender. You're right. I'm impressed. It's jealousy is where it comes from.
We're back. We've got 2 hours to go. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Tuesday. Ben and Woods 97.3, The Fan. What a pleasure it is to be with you and to have you join us on our pleasure cruise this morning. The airwaves of San Diego. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. We were in the commercial break taking a personality test. I'm asking Ben the question.
An updated personality test to see if I still fail or if I've grown, or maybe I'm just more honest with my answers.
We decided in the last segment you're the only person, maybe in the history of humans, to fail a personality test.
Potentially.
What does a successful personality test yield?
I think
like at the end, you're an adventurer,
or it's like
you're a.
I don't know.
You're a good fit for this place.
I guess my worry is that a failed personality test means that you are
psychotic,
about to snap and go on a mass murder spree, which I really don't feel like I'm anywhere near doing that.
I don't think so either, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Wouldn't surprise you at all.
Not in the
Not
slightest.
a violent person.
No, not yet. You ever see the movie Me?
You're certainly the most likely out of the three of us.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like, I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, have you ever seen Me, Myself, and Irene?
I believe I have.
Okay, if you haven't, you need to revisit that. That's what I fear from you. One day, another personality comes out entirely. His name is like, Mike, and it's like he's like, I'm Mike. I'm like, no, you're Ben, and it's a totally different person inside of you that has come out through whatever is the impetus behind it. But yeah, I was firing some questions off at Ben. He's answering as honestly as you're not answering what I want to hear. You're answering what you really feel.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay, so I got like 42% through it during the break.
It's a thorough test.
It's very thorough. And then I'm going to get to the end, and they're going to ask me for my credit card, which I know it's not just going to be a free test. But we did this a while back. We all took personality tests, different one than this one. But yeah, that's an interesting story. It's weird because I don't consider you an overthinker at all. I'm an overthinker. My wife gets so mad at me because I do these hypotheticals in my head. And I'm like, well, what if this happens?
You are an over-worrier maybe about things. I don't necessarily worry about them. I just like thinking about them.
Does it drive you crazy?
No.
See, it drives me crazy.
It actually entertains me.
The mark of a true serial killer. You know who else it entertained? Hannibal Lecter. He was very entertaining.
Problem solver. Puzzles, crosswords. I do enjoy keeping my brain active, usually with, like numbers and things. But if you're just sitting in line, there's something going to be thinking about it all the time.
Yeah. I mean, I do a lot of the same things that you do.
But then again, I can also just blank out pretty easily as well.
You are a master at just plowing forward.
Tune out.
Yeah, tune up.
So I don't know.
Well, we'll get through this and we'll get you the results.
Maybe I'm so normal I broke the test.
That could be it as well. It's
possible.
I am very bummed that I fell asleep for that game. And I know it's a 6-1 victory. Great. But I missed the lights. I missed the lights going out. I missed like all the cool moments, all the funny stuff that happened. I missed that rookie making his debut and yanking one to the backstop. I missed all kinds of fun stuff.
Can I be honest? I think the funniest thing in the game yesterday, and Paulie, I don't know if you stayed up for it, Don started doing Mud's bits late in the game, and that was pretty funny.
I missed it. Missed all of it.
Just started doing his lines. Frozen pizza! Hockey suit!
Do you get this? Do you think Don is worn out by Mud sometimes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say most times.
I liked Don going after his high school coach. Now, here's the interesting part. Don was talking about how he didn't really like his high school baseball coach.
I heard that, yes.
And he thought, well, I should have been playing shortstop and hitting in the 3-hole. But we saw Don at fantasy camp. I would be surprised if Don ever played beyond Little League. Did he really play high school ball and just didn't? Because I love Don. He can't throw at all. Like, he couldn't throw a ball. Do you lose your skills?
I was a pitcher, and I've lost all my skills. So it's possible that he was. I mean, he has a love of baseball. He doesn't like anything else, basically. Fishing, like food, baseball.
That's it.
Like they were talking about, it was Star Wars weekends coming up.
He's never seen it.
I saw the original one once, and he has no idea really about anything about it because he's just into baseball, which is great. And I've got to be fair, we said, I think Don gets tired of Mud. Mud probably gets tired of Don, too, at times.
For sure.
Just like you and I probably get tired of each other.
I never get tired of you. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't get tired of you either. Ever.
That's great. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Just completely zonked out. Was feeling tired. And again, like I didn't think they had the game in hand at all. 3-1. I was like, I missed Suarez pitch. I missed all the fun stuff last night. So I do apologize.
It was a remarkably unremarkable Padres game. It's the kind of game.
Wait, unremarkable?
Yes.
Even with a Toddy homer and a Crony homer.
It was a good game. Here's what I mean by that. When you have a team with a lot of talented players and you're playing against a team that's not that good, it doesn't mean you're going to blow them out every single time. But generally, how games like this go, so that might be close for a few innings, and eventually the good team just starts to just put enough pressure on that they pull away, they hit a couple of home runs, they have a rally, and they end up winning 6-1. It's such the normal baseball story. It's my entire life. That's what happens when the Padres were a bad team. I'd go like for 3 or 4 innings, and I go, oh, we got a chance today against the Dodgers or the Braves. And then eventually, oh, yeah, our bullpen's not that good, and we just run out of steam. And we end up losing 7-2 or 6-1. This is kind of how baseball games go. It doesn't feel like Padres games go that way that often. That it's simply to script. That's what you were supposed to do. Yeah, they had a pretty decent pitcher. That kid, Joey Estes, pretty lively arm, was coming off took a perfect game into the 7th, threw some good pitches early, but eventually the Padres figured him out, got a couple of home runs, put a rally together, got to a rookie in the bullpen, made him work, made him throw some balls, drew a walk, got a sacrifice fly, and they won the game the way a good team is supposed to do. I don't know why it seems so hard for them to do that on a consistent basis, but that was exactly what you're generally looking for when you're playing a team like the A's or the Angels or the Rockies. Where was it in the Angels and the Rockies series? I don't know.
You were waiting on what you just mentioned. You were waiting on that 5th, 6th inning, third time through the lineup. Figured him out, and it just never materialized. And I think, that's what it makes it frustrating watching this team sometimes. But, I look, like you said, I mean, everyone's touting this 5-game losing streak as well. I mean, we didn't lose by a lot. We were in every game. Okay, fine, but let's push that aside. You still weren't able to get the results you wanted. Last night was a game that you were. Hey, and be completely honest with yourselves, all of us, and you guys listening too. When Cease gave up that bomb, what did you do? Oh God, here we go. Out of my mouth was, oh boy, here we go. Just like that. I mean, and they scattered. That's what happens when you throw 6 innings, Ben, and you give up 8 hits. They say you scattered 8 hits around the ballpark. It felt like a lot of hits to give up if you're Dylan Cease against that team with that kind of stuff. But they've been hitting the ball a little bit better this year. They had some resurgent power numbers, as they talked about on the broadcast last night. But, yeah, man, at the end of the day, he did what he had to do. Bullpen did their jobs. I saw people grousing again about why take Adrian Morejon out. If you don't want to get taken out, you don't walk guys. It's really simple. If they call you in from the bullpen and you don't want to ever really get pulled and you have a job to do, don't walk a guy. They're not going to go to Estrada there for the 1 out. Finding out this morning that they used Suarez in a 6-1 game, have no problem with it. Hasn't pitched in 7 days or whatever. Needed to get him some work. So I thought a well-managed game, a well-executed game, a well-pitched game, all of the above. I'll take those every single day, obviously.
Yeah, it was the right call to go to Estrada. It's the tying run at the plate. They're bringing up a pinch hitter to try to take advantage of Morejon with a chance to tie the game. So you bring in your nastiest right-handed setup guy to make sure you get that out.
100%.
And then you hope you score some runs, which you went out and scored some runs. It was a well-managed, as you said, strategically, pretty well-executed game by the Padres, who got the bigger hits than the A's.
Yep, 100%.
Now do it again tonight.
Yep, do it again. That's the thing.
And really do it again 2 more days in a row. Sweep a series. Undo some of the damage of the 5-game losing streak. The one that, and I will admit that I am one of the people who fuels this. Because,
are you alibiing it?
Well, it was true that the Padres, they didn't do everything wrong in that 5-game losing streak.
No, they did a lot wrong, though. A lot of bad base
They got
running.
some hits, but they did make enough mistakes. They ended up losing those games. It wasn't an unceasing string of just
brutal
horrible
games.
play.
Yeah.
And when Mike Schilt and before that Xander Bogaerts said that was like the prettiest 5-game losing streak ever, no one wants to hear that. Even if it is true and it wasn't a particularly ugly streak, they never lost big in any of those games. They had a chance to win all of them. They got mostly great pitching all the way through. No one wants to hear about a pretty losing streak. They just don't.
No, you don't.
I'd rather hear about an ugly winning streak.
All day long. Every single time. 5 of the ugliest games ever, but they're all wins.
Yeah, I just would rather hear about an ugly winning streak.
Everybody wants that, man. Everybody wants that.
And beating the A's for 3 in a row could be the start of a nice, ugly winning streak. Last night's game was not ugly, though. Last night's game was just fine.
Yeah, just what the doctor ordered, my friend.
Just fine.
Somebody tweeted in
55 more of those?
Yes. Somebody tweeted in, can Kim stop getting thrown out on the base, please? Yeah, we talked about it earlier. I mean, look, hit that ball hard. Ben thinks he maybe thought he lined out. I kind of feel the same now after thinking. At first, I thought he got it. I thought he. Now, here's where he does get the benefit of the doubt, in my opinion. Have we ever seen Kim lollygag anything ever? So he gets the benefit of that. In my opinion, that's why I tend to lean he thought he lined out instead of hit a home run. He never takes plays off. Ever. He's a hair on fire guy all the time. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there. And he did get thrown out by 6 feet. But again, trying to get in a scoring position, not super mad at that.
And I was critical. I sent a tweet out. It's a boneheaded base running blunder by Ha-Seong Kim. Another one. And then I got a lot of responses about how bad Ha-Seong Kim has been this year.
He's run into a bunch of outs.
He has. He's made some mistakes. He had some errors early in the season. Would it surprise you to learn, though, that, and Craig was talking about this yesterday on their show, that metrically, like F-WAR, Ha-Seong Kim is number 8 in shortstops in baseball. His on-base is .335. It's better than Jackson Merrill. It's better than Jake Cronenworth. I mean, he's getting on base. Yep. His slugging percentage is .400. His numbers aren't bad. He's been heating up lately, especially.
No question. That OBP, though, that counts when you hit a double and you get thrown out at third as well. That counts as a double.
That's true.
Just FYI.
But he walks a ton. He's got the best maybe eye on the team. Walks more than even Jerks and Profar does. He's not bad.
No, he's not bad. Nobody's saying he's bad.
No, the people were saying
he's a reckless base runner.
He's been bad. He's been reckless. He's made some bad decisions, and he's not necessarily as good as he was last year. But if you compare him to the rest of the league, especially at shortstop, not bad at all.
Not bad.
He's actually an above-average shortstop.
I'm a Kim fan.
I'm
a Kim supporter.
What do you guys think the future looks like for Ha-Seong Kim? Is he a Padre in August?
Fantastic question. Oh, in August?
I mean,
yes.
He's a free agent at the end of this year.
He is in August.
Do you think it's likely that he resigns here?
I don't know that we have the money for it.
That is a much bigger question.
Does he turn it around and he's so valuable that the Padres need him for the hopeful playoff push?
Yeah, he's here.
Or
I think he's here for the season.
Does AJ even explore trading him to get something for him? He thinks the big league team can sustain its season without him, and then you get a couple of guys maybe that you wouldn't have gotten if you let him walk?
I saw Too Much Mortons, who is, again, really good follow.
Great follow.
On Twitter, suggest that Ha-Seong Kim may be the rare guy who might take a qualifying offer.
Say it.
That's not a qualifying offer.
Qualifying.
Yeah. So
which would be what?
So when you hit free agency, teams can issue a qualifying offer. They do, like the Padres did for Blake Snell and Josh Hader, which is usually rejected because they don't want to accept a one-year deal. Last year, I think it was around $18 million. Probably going to be a little bit more this year. It's not a long-term deal, and I'm sure Ha-Seong Kim would love to capitalize with a long-term deal. But if he doesn't have a great season, he may want to stay in San Diego another year, make a good chunk of change, and
he's got an $8 million player option.
It would be a big. Well, he could get a big raise if he turns down the option.
Yep.
He could get a big raise on the qualifying offer, where the Padres won't have to commit to him for many years to come. But he also, doesn't risk testing the market yet, coming off what is not statistically been his best seasons so far.
Well, his season's not over yet.
That's true, too.
And he is heating up, and sum and substances. He's one of the leaders of the team. Definitely going to look and feel different without him, 100%. And look, use Jerks and Profar as a cautionary tale. You can opt out of your deal, and no one. I think somebody would want him for his elite defensive prowess and potential. But
when you have Manny, Xander, Cronenworth, and even Arise locked up for more than a year,
and you have Merrill in center who can also play the infield, and you have Fernando Tatis Jr. who wants to play the infield. You have a glut of infield.
Like most guys don't get long-term extensions that he probably is going to be seeking to be he's a starter, but we don't need five infielders on multi-year contracts.
I feel like
deals.
he's going to be looking for $15 to $20 million a year from some team. If he can't, if he doesn't know that he can find it, though, maybe 18 to 19 for 1 year with the Padres might be appealing, and the Padres might do it as well. I don't know if the Padres can afford it. I don't know what their budget's going to be next year. We have no idea what next year's budget is going to look like. Are they going to try to stay under the luxury tax again?
Zero.
Are they going to be willing to go over it because they reset their penalties this year? If they do, those are a lot of question marks, and we can talk about those. I think the more interesting...
Javi Baez makes $25 million a year. Dansby Swanson makes $26.
Yeah. Ha-Seong Kim looks like a bargain, maybe.
Willie Adames makes $12.25. Bo Bichette makes $12.
Like, out of those five guys, I'm not suggesting he's the fifth infielder or he would be the bench guy, but somebody's got to be on the bench, and he might just be the odd man out just based on timing of when his deal runs out.
Yeah, it's an interesting question, Paulie, but I do think it's straightforward what Ha-Seong Kim is facing. I think there's another player who is facing a really weird offseason coming up. I want to talk about that when we come back. Jesse Agler is going to be with us at the bottom of the hour, so don't go anywhere. More Ben and Woods coming up after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. We were just talking about Ha-Seong Kim's upcoming free agency. Paulie thinks he's going to be a Giant next year. Makes some sense. Best friend, Jung-Ho Lee's on the team already. They seem like an organization that's been willing to pay some money, at least in the last year or two, to try to bring some star power to the team.
Don't mistake my words. I don't want him to go to the Giants. I don't want the Padres to trade him.
No. You said in the break you love the Giants and want to see him.
That's not true.
The Brandon Crawford era is over.
Paulie said the only guy that can replace a Brandon Crawford is Ha-Seong Kim. That's exactly what he said.
You're just hoping he becomes the next Derek Jeter.
But to me, this is a standard free agency. Who's going to offer the most? What's the best situation? I think the one that's a real brain bender this offseason is what is Jurickson Profar going to do?
Ask for $30 million a year?
Who's going to pay that?
Nobody. They didn't pay him last time.
Who's going to believe that Jurickson's going to take what he does with the Padres anywhere else when he never does it? But why would the Padres overpay when they know Jurickson really wants to be there? This, for me, seems like it's going to be the ultimate game of chicken between the Padres and Jurickson Profar, knowing we know you want to be here. Yeah, you've earned a raise. It's not going to be $1 million, but we're not giving you, top 20 WAR money. We're not giving you $18 million a year next year.
And he's thinking, you're damn right you are.
What's the possible right price point for Jurickson Profar if he continues to play anywhere near the way he's played this year? Does anyone go out and give him, 4 years, $100 million?
He's playing
I don't think so.
He's playing at a level of $30 million a year.
Yeah,
he's getting paid $1 million a year. So where do you fall in the middle?
My man's making Brett Sullivan money right now, and is out there having
Does he want to leave again
numbers.
And have a year like he did with the Rockies that was miserable, and just wishes he was back with the Padres?
The thought of it legitimately makes my hair fall out of what to do with a lot of the guys on the squad.
Saying $8 million, $18 million.
I mean, there you go. I
don't know.
He dropped Boris, didn't he? He was a Boris guy?
Did he drop him? He was a Boris guy.
He did,
I thought he signed with MVP.
I think he did. Well, it's not like the guys from MVP are gonna be like, hell yeah, let's get you another maybe a $1.5 million. No, they want to go out and get their guys paid, man. So I just don't. I don't know. I don't know the answer on Ha-Seong Kim. I don't know the answer on Jurickson Profar. Again, so happy that I don't have to make those decisions. Yeah, I look at both of those guys as truly, and I mean this when I say it, those are fabric guys. Like, those are part of the fabric of that team, that clubhouse, period, the end. I'm not saying you have to pay them twice what they're worth, but I'm saying they should be paid what they're worth. They are fabric guys, beloved by the fan base for the most part, and beloved by their fellow players. This team, with the constant hiring of assassin after assassin after assassin after assassin every single year, it is hard to build continuity. Now, you've made some moves that have hamstrung you, period. The Xander Bogaerts deal has hamstrung you financially, and now he's hurt. He's not coming back for a couple months. You got to find a way. And what did I say the other day? I want Luis Ariz to be a Padre. So you got another year of control of him. You got another year of control of Dylan Cease. You have another year of control of Michael King. I mean, there's a lot of things. It's time to pay the piper here in the next couple of years. So I don't know what
it's very complicated, except for one player that's very simple. If he comes from Japan, Roki Sasaki is someone you have to get. And you have to keep him from going to the Dodgers. Yep. He's going to almost.
Is there any doubt that he won't come over?
He hasn't announced it officially. That's what the belief is that he's going to come over. A lot of people think he's going to the Dodgers. If they get Ohtani on $2 million a year and Sasaki, who will be like Ohtani when he came over to the Angels on a very small salary and controlled for 6 years, they have pretty much put themselves in an unassailable position for the next decade.
How does it work? Like Yamamoto got $300 million or whatever.
Because he stayed long enough where he was posted. Okay. Sasaki is coming over. He'd be like an international signing. He'd be like Leo DeVries,
a couple $1 million,
or Ethan Salas, like $5-6 million, whatever your max is. That's all you can offer.
Damn.
And then you control him like any minor leaguer for six years of control.
I mean, look,
and if he's anything like Shota Imanaga, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The comparisons are there. He's going to be an outstanding pitcher. You're going to get him in his prime. He's going to be absolutely cheap. He is the game changer this offseason. The Dodgers, everyone thinks are the favorite. The Padres have been trying to set this up for years. He idolizes Yu Darvish. There's a reason Yu Darvish is going to be here for a while. Part of that reason is Roki Sasaki, to try to lure him. He's not going to hurt your budget. He's going to be right into your starting rotation, near the top of it, for years to come. He will be a game changer wherever he goes. If he goes to the Padres, NL West is going to be fun and competitive. If he goes to the Dodgers, just you're playing for the wild card for the next decade.
It'll just be SDFC show then. We'll just move our attentions over to local football because, yeah, that would suck. I mean, that would suck. And again, think about Bobby Miller, Shohei Ohtani's pitching again, Yamamoto, Glass. Is that even fun if you're a Dodger fan? My God.
Walker Buehler coming out of the bullpen because they got too many aces.
100%. We have to trade some pitching.
Tony Gonsolin coming back. Who knows?
It's just insane.
Dustin May.
It's just insane. So I think.
Jesus God.
It says, Satan's Blowfish says, we'll see what happens there, too. The Dodgers have freed up the most money remaining in 2024. So if Roki somehow declares for the period rather than the 24 period than 25, the Dodgers will have the most money to sign.
If he waits. The indication is he doesn't want to wait, and he just goes for the international signing money, wants to get over. I don't know. Now, he has to wait longer than just one more year, I think, though, to get the big money.
To get the big money.
Yeah, he can come over next year for the small money, but if he wants to wait for the big money, he still has... He has more years in Japan, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He has to finish out some service time before he can come over and be posted officially.
Well, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. These are all problems that we don't have to solve today, but it is fun to kick them around a little bit. And by fun, I mean excruciatingly painful and terrible.
We do have to give an incorporator word to Jesse Agler. We will be joined by the voice of the Padres. Coming up next with Ben Woods.
Send your words to the chat, please.
San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Happy birthday.
Sour 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Frozen Ropes Summer Baseball League and Camps. This week is the last chance to call to register your ball player, ages 6 through 12, for the Baseball Summer League. Can you confirm that one?
I can.
It's going to be an awesome summer of player development and competition. Registration closes this Friday, June 14th. Go to SanDiegoFrozenRopes.com.
We just finished your personality test.
We did.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a similar personality to one Jesse Agler.
I can see some of that. You failed yours, though, again, here on this.
I did.
Yeah, failed.
It's not a pass-fail thing.
Red
alert.
Blinking F.
You said I'm an architect.
Yeah.
Kind of highly logical.
INTJ
not overly
personality.
emotional.
Correct. Intellectually curious.
I am.
Consistently work towards enhancing intellectual abilities are often driven by an intense desire to master any and every topic that piques their interest. Yeah,
I agree.
I agree, too.
And I think Jesse might be like that as well. He is standing by. We will play the Incorporator and talk to the voice of the Padres after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Drive-Thru Oil Change, your trusted instant drive-thru oil change. Still a few problems here. Semi blocking middle lanes on northbound side of the 805 right before the 15. Westbound 52 Mask Boulevard off-ramp accident involving a couple vehicles. Stop by any of the 30 San Diego Valvoline instant oil change centers. You don't have to get out of your car. It usually only takes 15 minutes or less. Plus, get a free courtesy check of your tires and battery. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for directions and discounts. SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
The test also determined that I'm highly introverted, like 84%,
Yes.
which seems odd for someone who spends all day on radio and television.
Yeah.
Usually those you'd think are very extroverted people. But I don't know. Jesse Agler's with us. Jesse, would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
Major introvert.
Yeah, me too.
Yet you're
like
both
probably
on,
more than 84%.
But you're both on radio, both in both in show business, so to speak.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, this conversation, I've had it a few times with people over the years, right? Because it doesn't make sense on its face, as you said. But I think my way of understanding myself and kind of explaining it to people is that, the microphone is some kind of like barrier, right? In a weird way. Because it is, and this is going to sound obnoxious, but it's kind of a one-way conversation. Like when I'm talking to people on the radio, they're not talking back to me. So it's fine. I can just do my thing and go. But like, it is exhausting to me. Like I finish a game and it's like, I feel like this is pathetic, but like, I feel like I boxed 10 rounds.
We say the same
more
thing.
Talking. Yeah. That's more talking than I do the whole rest of the day put together. You put me at like a dinner party, I'm the worst, man. I'm the least interesting person.
Me too.
I do not know how to make small talk. Like, you know what? This is a terrible thing to admit, but I will do so for you guys because we're among friends here. Like, I don't think I realized until my late 30s that like when somebody asks you a small talk question, you're supposed to ask it back to them after you answer it. Like, I didn't realize
I still didn't know that. Is that,
until I
is
was
that
like
true?
38 years old.
So we'll walk through a scenario. We'll walk through a scenario. We're at a dinner party. So like a small talk question would be what? Like,
hey, what do you have planned for the weekend? And I'd be like, oh, we're taking the kids to this, doing that, blah, 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 blah. And in the past, my brain was like, okay, they have asked you a question. You have answered it.
I politely answered the question. Yeah. Why would I want to know what you were doing this weekend? That doesn't affect my
100%.
life at all.
And it's like in my head, I'm like, why do they care what I'm doing this weekend?
And I'm going to spare you from me asking that question because I didn't want to answer it. I just did. So I'm not going to be rude enough to throw it back in your face.
100%. Like, I have now done the work. I have done the heavy lifting for you. So I'm going to move on, to like the bar or the
buffet, the shrimp platter.
Right.
That's so fantastic.
That's how it works. However, the extroverts, by the way, I could do 3 hours on this topic. The extroverts, they need more. Like, they need more and more and more. And it's like, it took me so long to understand, how these little interactions are supposed to work. And Ben, I don't know if you can put a number on it, but like in my mind, 85% of the people I interact with are extroverts. So it's like a really uncomfortable universe at times.
Everyone in television is so extroverted.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like it's a hard world to inhabit. And I swear to God, like I'm just now sort of learning how to navigate it with at least, how many people must think I'm a jerk because they're like, this guy never asked me any questions. And it's like, I didn't realize that was the thing until very, very recently. So my blanket apology to anybody I might have offended over the years with my terrible ability at small talk. I'm working on it. It's still not great, but it's a legitimate challenge. It's like a funny little thing.
You know what's even worse is being both. I'm both. That's the problem, is you don't know what day you're catching me on. Am I catching him on an extroverted day or a day where he's like, don't talk to me. I'm not interested in what you have to say. That's the worst.
I always said I'm an extroverted introvert.
Sure,
like,
I used
can turn
to be.
It on, but
I used to be all extrovert, and now I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired of the sound of my own voice. No, Jesse, it is funny that you say that. You feel like you boxed, because I've got buddies that work construction. I got buddies who work 17-hour days and doing landscaping and stuff, and I always feel like an idiot. When I'm like, when I leave here, sometimes I have to like hold my eyes open when I'm driving home because I'm wiped out. I feel like an idiot. I've done hard labor before. It isn't the same. It's just a different type of work. But all right, so one of those things, like last night, perfect example. You're doing, how many games into the season are we right now? 70 games in, Jesse. As cool as it is for the lights going out for 10 minutes, the way my mind works is, we going to get this done? It's 10 more minutes I have to stay here until I get to go home to my cocoon.
You got a vamp.
And you got a riff for 10 minutes.
No 10-minute commercial break.
It was 3 minutes. It was 3 minutes.
Yeah,
so it was fine. It was.
But you didn't know that at the time.
No, you didn't know how long it was going to go. But it was like, all right, that I don't know. In the moment, it didn't bother me, even though it was another kind of longer than it needed to be game. It's kind of fun and funny, and the fans started going with the flashlights. I enjoyed kind of describing that on the radio. I think there's something there, but I mean, look, as long as we're not getting into like a 2-hour rain delay, I'm cool, because the odds are at some point on this East Coast trip this week, and I haven't checked the weather yet, but like going to New York and Philly in June, so we might have to deal with something, this coming week. But that actually, it's funny because my mind didn't go there for once.
Jesse, if the Padres took a baseball personality test, they might have baseball personality disorder, because it feels like every other week they're a different team. This week they're a team that's hitting home runs, a lot of slug. A couple weeks ago there was no slug at all. Sometimes they're a team that plays really clean defense. Sometimes they're a team that makes some interesting, weird errors. There's been a lot of different Padres we've seen through these 70 games.
No doubt about it, and that'll probably continue. And the idea is that, when the calendar flips from September to October, A, you're still playing, and B, maybe or possibly for the first time all year, it all kind of comes together at once. That, you're seeing the clean defense with the good starting pitching, with the good relief pitching, with the slug, with the on base. And, if that happens, that's how you make a run. That's how the Arizona Diamondbacks got to the World Series last year. That's how the Philadelphia Phillies got to the World Series the year before. And, the regular season in this playoff format especially seems to be about surviving. It's great if you thrive. If you want to go and win 109 games, go ahead. Congratulations. That's a lovely accomplishment. Not an easy thing to do. It's impressive. Nobody's going to turn that down. But I just don't know. And it's only been a couple of years, so I'm not trying to make any, grand pronouncements. But I think, the idea now is survive the regular season, get in and get hot. And, it's a little bit weird because it feels a little bit out of your control. It's not that you can necessarily like do anything for that to happen. It just kind of has to happen. And that is the nature of a playoff system in which you have this number of rounds and this many teams in. That is the reality of it. For those of you who watched baseball before 1969, you had an American League and you had a National League. And the winner of the American League played the winner of the National League in the World Series, and that was it. And then from, 69 for, about 25 years, it was, the East winner versus the West winner in the playoffs, and then the World Series. And then we had the one wild card. And now we have really something that looks a lot more like the stuff out of other sports.
Yeah.
And, the volatility factor is turned way up because of that. And so, I don't know that Rob Manfred would scream this from the mountaintops, but it's hard to argue that the regular season has ever meant less than it does now. And look, I remember saying to you guys multiple times, the last couple of years when we talked about this, there's going to be a year when an 81-win team, maybe an 80-win team, maybe a 79-win team is able to get into the postseason. And look, we got more than half a year to go, but it's sure looking like that could be a realistic, end game here in 2024. We'll see. But I mean, the number of teams that are involved right now in the National League wildcard who are hovering right around or below 500, it's a long list. It's basically the entire National League at this point. There's only 2 or 3 teams that are like out of it right now. And maybe that's what they wanted, but that's certainly what they got. And so, look, again, I'm not suggesting that the best path forward is to go 80 and 82 and try and get hot, but that could very well end up happening for one of these teams.
Talking to our pal Jesse Agler here on Ben and Woods this morning. And even stranger than that, too, is, you can get hot at the right time, and you can cruise even through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. And then you can just go ice cold. You just never know.
Not only that, I mean, look at the Phillies last year.
Yeah.
After Game 2 of the NLCS. Remember, they beat the Diamondbacks in the first 2 games at home.
Unbeatable.
That place was they looked like they would never lose again. It was like, oh my gosh, this team is not only going to sweep this series, they're going to sweep the World Series. It doesn't matter who it's against, and then they're going to start off 80-0 next year.
Yeah.
And then the Diamondbacks beat them. I mean, it's look, every time we say that's baseball, I know it makes people want to punch a hole in the wall, but like it is the dumbest sport in the best way, and stuff like that happens all the time.
Yeah, there's no question about it. Do you have a word for Jesse?
We have a word. Paulie's got it called up, but I also have a dream. And it's been my dream for a while. And I know this is a huge challenge, so I can't force you to try to do it, but I would love to see it happen at some point before the end of the season. And I'm setting you up for success with this one, because what I want is an incorporator that actually is incorporated into one of the game highlights. Like a big moment of the game. So here's your word today that I think you at least have the opportunity to do so.
Sockdolager.
Sockdolager.
Sockdolager is a forceful blow or an exceptional person or thing.
Wow.
And the added challenge, and not required, but should it present itself in the right opportunity, the extra credit opportunity, is to get it in a moment that we will be replaying in our Padres Wrap-Up tomorrow morning, because it was a key moment in the game.
Sockdolager.
Sockdolager.
Sockdolager?
I think play it again, Paulie.
Oh.
Nope.
Sockdolager.
Sockdolager.
Here's my only fear is that it's like a 1-0 game with like an RBI double.
That's why it's not required.
Not required.
Yeah. But if we can get some slug, I got you.
That's what I'm thinking.
Your prize for doing it is that we won't come make small talk with you in the booth
ever
for the rest of until the All-Star break.
I'm
going to give you the rest of the All-Star break off.
Jesse and I just standing next to each other with
Priceless.
no small talk
fine.
is simply just
and totally comfortable with it.
Yes, comfortable silence.
Totally comfortable.
Does that bother you when I pop in to say hello?
No, not at all. Seriously.
You're lying.
Although, can I admit something and apologize?
Please do.
I don't. If it felt like I blew you off the other day on the field, and I'm sorry if it did. It wasn't even an introvert thing. It was I saw your face and you were walking towards me, and we were outside.
Yeah.
But still, all I could think of as you walked towards me was,
I had
I
COVID.
remember this guy had COVID a couple weeks ago. Yeah. And I was like, I got to get out of here.
I can't tell you how much better I feel. I've been worried sick about it. I almost texted you, so I feel so much better.
Hey man, we cool.
I should have texted you, but I also thought it would be funnier to talk about it on the radio.
Yeah,
it was.
I just feel a weight has been lifted from my soul. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, I'm hoping for
I love all three of you.
a Tatis or a Machado's Sockdolager.
Sockdolager. Stop saying Sockdolager.
Sockdolager.
Play it one more time, Paulie.
You've been wrong every time.
You're wrong every time.
Sockdolager.
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 I want to twist it around, too. I like, if we said, man, Fernando's been a real sockdologist lately.
That works, too.
Sockdologist.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's great.
An exceptional person or thing. That works, too. All right, Jesse. Good conversation. We appreciate it.
You made my day. I love you. Thank you.
Sockdology.
See you, Jesse.
Jesse Agler, voice of the Padres, joining us.
Remember what I told you yesterday? I told you this.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I told you guys.
Yeah.
I go, I think Jesse hates me now because he gave me the elbow.
That's right. You did say that.
I told you that. Yeah, he gave me the elbow. And I couldn't, for the life of me.
Just a walking plague is what he's worried about.
I couldn't, for the life of me. I'm like, what did I do? And now I know. And I feel so much better. If there's one guy, I'd rather you hate me than Jesse Agler. That would break my heart if Jesse Agler didn't like me.
I'm so glad that I have so much in common with Jesse.
Yeah, so much.
Even though we can't ever really share it because we don't want to talk to each other.
You don't want to talk to anyone. It's amazing the shell that you've come out of on this show. Talking about your S&M fantasies and everything else. It's incredible.
By the way, thank you to Orthodox Evans who contributed Sockdologer.
Great word.
To the incorporator for tonight. All right, Paulie's got some headlines with the Reindl Report, which is coming up next. We will talk about tonight's game, Padres A's continuing their series. It's all ahead. 1 hour to go with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Thanks again to Jesse Agler. Going to have to work the word sockdolager into tonight's game on the Incorporator. Final hour of Ben and Woods here. Our friends at Cespedes Family Barbecue just commented on a tweet I sent last night, which was, again, my logical introverted brain just coming up with kind of a weird factoid. When I tweeted, the Padres have matched the NL wildcard leading Braves with their 35th win, although remain 3.5 games behind in the standings due to 7 more losses, which is wild to have played 10% more games at this point in the season. The Padres, 70 games in, have played 10% or 7 more games already than the Atlanta Braves. Because that's weird. And I thought, I'm sure there's been some rainouts, and that Cespedes Family Barbecue said, yeah, obviously the head start with the Korean series and better weather ensures more games played early on for San Diego, but can't really remember a 7-game gap in games played between two teams this late in the season before, although maybe it's more common than it seems. Think about that going forward, though. That's good news for the Padres going forward. They will have 7 more off days in the last 3.5 months of the season than the Atlanta Braves to reset their pitching rotation, give their bullpen a break. Off days are more valuable the later the season goes, wouldn't you say?
Unless you win your division and then you have to sit and rot.
That's true, too, which is not going to happen. So
yeah.
I would say those off days will be highly valuable for the Padres to have in hand compared to a team like the Braves, who are going to have to play an insane number of games to start catching up.
Unless, and this is the way my negative brain works, unless you're red hot and you don't want to not play games, and I know on paper, and you can't follow this game on paper. It just doesn't work. On paper, yes, that is inherently a good thing. No one knows what it will be until it's over.
Yeah, usually you never get more than 2-3 games away from all the other teams on the schedule. To be 7 apart is pretty wild.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, let's get some headlines. It is time for today's edition of the Reindl Report. And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All
right. Jerry asks in the chat, is Paul an introvert or an extrovert? I said I'm an extroverted introvert. I feel like I've always been that way. I can turn it on when I need to go out and be with friends or in public or anything like that. But I love returning to my home, my safe place.
I like my cocoon.
Yeah. I mean, before my girlfriend, now wife, moved in, I lived alone and I loved it. I'd go out and meet some friends for a drink or something. And then when I wanted to leave, see you later. No roommates.
Nope.
My own place.
See, now I am the opposite in that I don't need my home cocoon necessarily in my safe place. I just don't want to. I can't turn it on like you can, Paulie, when I'm in a crowded setting with people. I'm just the same.
You get very
uncomfortable
very
person.
awkward.
But I like to be out. I like to
fives.
be out and
Yes.
doing it. I like to go out more than you do and do things
immensely.
Just not necessarily interacting with other people.
I was in the sun the other day for 6 hours straight, and it was the weirdest experience of my life. I just wanted to be at home on my bed.
All right, elsewhere in sports, no basket hoops last night, but we did have the hockey, and the Florida Panthers took a 2-0 series lead in the Stanley Cup final over Edmonton. 4-1, they scored 3 goals in the final period, one of those being an empty net, I think another one being a power play. And I have not watched any of the Stanley Cup.
It's been very one-sided.
It has. I watched 5 minutes.
I try to watch the Stanley Cup finals every year because it's just the intensity is unparalleled in sports, I think. But
the Oilers only have 1 goal in the first 2 games, and it came on a shorthanded, kind of a shot that should have been blocked by Bobrovsky.
He's
goal.
unreal.
He has been
he's unreal.
absolutely perfect the whole series. And now they're going to Edmonton facing pretty much the must-win situation on Thursday night in Game 3.
Yeah, Thursday night, Game 3 in that series. NBA Finals picks up tomorrow night in Here in Dallas.
Here in Dallas, yeah.
All right, elsewhere in the NFL, I saw that the Steelers gave Mike Tomlin a contract extension through 2027. He's already the longest tenured head coach, and that's not changing anytime soon. He's got a 3-year extension, going to keep him in control. He's entering his 18th season.
I mean, that's
Pittsburgh
what.
Steelers.
I mean, that's what they're. What have they had?
Three coaches in our lifetime, right?
Yeah,
3.
something like that.
Name them.
Chuck Noll,
Bill Cowher.
Bill Cowher, and
Mike Tomlin.
That's nuts.
That's
insane.
It.
In modern sports history, that's nuts. I love Mike Tomlin. I don't know why. I just do. How do Steelers fans feel today? Are they happy? They sad? They makes perfect sense to them?
If I'm a Steelers fan, I am. Obviously, they have not won a Super Bowl in the last few years, but
you got to be mad at your GM. Though.
I think you're proud that you have an organization of stability,
100%,
that transcends even beyond decades and generations.
You say that, Ben. The
win
modern
enough.
Sports fan, they love stability. Come on, they want
Mike
it now.
Tomlin's never had a losing record.
No,
right? Never.
I don't think so. No. Yeah, but nobody. The modern sports fan again. I mean, you can't. Dylan Cease gave up 1 home run last night, and myself included. I didn't tweet anything, but I went, "Oh God, here we go." It is instant. Be perfect all the time, or you're done for.
The Steelers operate under the long noted axiom: the grass is not always greener.
Absolutely,
on the other side.
absolutely.
We know we've got a good thing here.
Yep.
Let's not be trying to chase a better thing when more than likely
it doesn't exist.
We fire Mike Tomlin. We're going to hire someone worse.
Yeah,
we've gotten pretty solid and lucky with our 3 coaches. Let's not mess with what we're doing. I respect that. I respect it.
Adam says we can ask Michael, our big boss. He's a Steelers fan. I did not know that.
I did not either.
All right, I'm going to guess, knowing Michael a little bit.
I think he's happy.
I think he wanted some fresh blood.
Oh,
I agree with Woods. I feel like
Michael is always
he's looking
for
he wants
the
bigger and better.
Underperformed the last few years. I don't know what their records have been. I don't follow the Steelers, but
they need better players.
That's not on him. He's not the GM.
He gets the most. I always think about out of the players that they.
So why wouldn't you want that guy?
He's 14.
He cuts a commanding figure.
Oh no,
pretty wise.
Yeah, love him. Just always love his press conferences and everything. I feel like Michael probably wanted some fresh blood.
I mean, he's very Mike Schilt in his.
I hope Michael
not
likes
going to
stability.
Anytime they get off to a slow start, he is the first one to go. I'm not going to panic.
I don't panic.
We're going to turn around. I'm not going to panic. He's very Mike Schilt that way.
Yeah, hopefully, Michael does value stability.
18 years in
and
one place.
I mean, winning too.
Winning.
Yeah.
Not just changing things up every 3 years.
Yeah, let's ride this out for a while. Just go with a cheaper option or something. No. Let's ride
Michael's
it out.
a stability guy.
He loves stability.
It's total
he
stability.
Loves this. It's a great.
That's
movie.
what we love about Michael.
That's what we love.
I love the Steelers, by the way.
He loves stability. We love the Steelers.
I bleed whatever colors they are, yellow and black.
Yeah.
Yes, bleed it. 100%.
All right, finally got a story here from one of my favorite websites, Consequence of Sound. They're very good at music and pop culture, television, movies. And the headline reads, The Who's Roger Daltrey is, quote, effing sick of fans looking up set lists before concerts. Now, I don't know anything about Roger Daltrey. I don't know if he's a likable or unlikable guy. I'm sure Woods can fill us in. I hate that opinion from him. I absolutely hate it. The first thing I thought of when I saw that headline was he's going, oh, it's the artist in him is like, no, you should just be grateful that we're going to play for you what we have hand chosen as a band. No, dude. Everybody wants to know when you're singing, who are you?
Yes.
Bob O'Reilly.
Eminence Front. Yes, I want to know.
Come on.
Pinball Wizard behind blue eyes.
And,
all right, first of all, Roger Daltrey is he's exalted. He is the lead singer of The Who, one of the greatest rock bands to ever grace our planet. That said, he's been doing this a very long time, and I think he's just complaining to complain because
I understand the gripe, I guess.
Well, what is
don't publicize it.
What is his gripe exactly? Like that people want to see what you're going to play. Like I'm a curious person, and when I buy a concert ticket, it's literally the first thing I do.
Yeah, setlist.fm.
I screenshot it on my phone, and at the show, I'm like, oh, good, so it's coming up next. Or time to go pee-pee. Or
Yes.
But if you were a musical artist, you would want to change up your set list
almost every night.
Here's
Yeah.
what
It's
he
like
said.
when you were a comedian, you wanted to change
Every
your
night.
act every single night.
Every night.
He was doing an interview with Billboard. He said, I'm not going to talk about songs. Too many people reveal songs. There's no surprises left with concert these days. Because everybody wants to see the set list. I'm effing sick of it. The internet's ruined the live shows for me. Who wants to know what's coming next? People forget about surprises. I can't stand it.
You know, listen, I'm a notorious...
What's the biggest surprise you ever had at a concert?
Oh, man. I went to Pearl Jam, their 10th anniversary, the first show they ever played. Now, they wouldn't be a band if it wasn't for this other band, Mother Love Bone. And their singer died. A couple guys from that band met Eddie Vedder. They started Pearl Jam, right? But if Andrew Wood never died, that band would have gone on to great things. So I go to their 10th anniversary show. And now you want to talk about tears. They played a Mother Love Bone song, Crown of Thorns. And Eddie sang it. And I was like, it was the greatest surprise of all time. I don't know if the internet even existed then, but I would have totally... But again, I know Pearl Jam. They switch it up every night. Eddie writes it out in the thing, and those guys better be ready. You got 200 songs, you better know, because Eddie's going to, let's do this one tonight. They're like, oh, cool, we haven't done this in 12 years, and we're doing it tonight. That's the difference in them and the Grateful Dead, and there's certain bands that mix it up every night. I will say, I look at an artist on tour, and I go, oh, yes, they're playing. It does give you a little bit of disappointment if they're not playing one of your favorites, but it also gives you a lot of excitement if they are playing something maybe you haven't heard in years. I like to know what's coming.
See, I got the best of both worlds when I went to the Taylor Swift concert last year with Megan. The same set list every single night. This is like a 2-year-long tour now.
Right.
But so I was able to be like, all right, I don't really care for this era. So I'm going to go buy some merch for you and you enjoy the show. Or I'm going to go to the bathroom or whatever. But then she would do, I think, 2 surprise songs every show.
Yeah, sure.
To mix it up a little bit. So there was still an element of surprise, and you knew exactly when you needed to go somewhere.
You know,
that's the first thing I do is look
be
at the
honest,
set
too,
list.
the main thing that I look for is the encore. And if the encore sucks, I know I'm leaving.
Yes.
If it's, look, and there's a lot of bands that I like where their biggest hit is the song I like the least. So I'm like, all right, I don't need to hear this, and I'm out the door, man. I'm beating traffic. You know I love to beat traffic more than almost anything in the world. If somebody asked me, would you rather have intercourse or beat traffic, I would say beat traffic.
Concert traffic. Too.
Concert traffic. All day, 100% of the time. Get me home. I want to beat the crowd. I don't want to be standing there. I don't want to wait for my car.
Wouldn't the most logical thing...
Control freak. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I think if I was a musical artist or band, the most logical thing for me would be I'd start playing the most popular song to start and keep getting less and less popular so that only the diehards were there at the end.
Would you say somebody does that?
Counting Crows did that. They walked on stage. They played Mr. Jones. They're like, see you guys. Everybody want to come here and see that one?
Yeah.
Enjoy.
And just keep going.
It's pretty
Until
badass.
You're left with simply the people who really just appreciate your band and your music at the end.
And what, your encore is just some demo you did? Like it's not some great song?
I don't understand the idea of an encore. It is so... It's so
badass.
if it's scheduled,
It's badass.
and you know it's going
is
to
forced,
happen,
but it's badass.
It's so forced. You're gonna
the first encore
You're gonna play
ever
22
recorded.
songs. Make the last 3 of them the encore. Woods needs an encore. Come on, Woods. No, we got 45 minutes left. Woods!
Yeah!
Come on, Woods. Come back.
Come on!
You really have to.
Yeah! Thank you.
Shocker!
Oh my
So-
God!
Thank you guys for staying. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you are, it's why you become a musician. It's the encore. You guys out of your mind?
Fake.
You go out, you get a little drink, have a little cigarette, and you wait 30 seconds, and then you walk back out and you go, who wants a little bit more? Are you kidding? It's why you become a musician.
Should we start doing this on our show at around this time every morning?
Let's go.
We leave and
everyone clap
until the we get
Let's
enough,
go, man,
we get enough
Edward.
tweets
Man,
or something.
Edward. Man, Edward. We're all right. We'll do one more.
All right, we're back.
One more
segment.
segment. Oh, it's the dream. It is the dream. There's 2 things about being a musician. 2. This is why you do it. It's the darkening of the house lights before you come on, and the roar of the like. Oh, God. And you see the silhouette walking out, and the hair on your arm stands up.
Then
and then
the light turns on the drummer or
yes,
something. Here we go.
And the bass player, then the guitar. Then the lead singer, of course, walks out last. Are you ready? And just gets after it. There's nothing like it, man. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, I dare you. Don't come back out if they don't cheer loud enough.
It's happened. The Strokes used to do no encore. They would just play, and then, all right, and then walk off the stage, and then people would be standing there cheering for 30 minutes, and then the lights come on. You're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I think Roger Daltrey, honestly, he's just a bitter old dude. And from what I heard yesterday, they mix up their set list. So what is he complaining about? Like, if you mix it up, then what do you have to complain about? So why don't you just...
I have a weird favorite Who song.
What is it?
I Can See for Miles and Miles.
That's not a weird one.
Is that not weird?
I was driving around yesterday listening to The Who, and I heard my old favorite, Paulie. I sent it to you. Oh, yes. And I was blown away. Check this out.
What do you need me for? You can play it.
What are you playing over there? Oh, just jamming some Who. My Jew's harp. Yeah, I was driving around after this. I read that article, and I was like, I need to listen to some Who. And I was hitting it all day long. And then I heard that. I went, yes, they used it, dude. It's not bad. It's not really kind of easy instrument to play. I have two. Jack brought me one, too.
Oh, nice.
I have one in my car and one in my bag. So I have, if you ever need anyone to sit in on the harp. What's the name of the song? Join Together?
Join Together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. Thank you, Paulie. I love that segment.
You're welcome.
All right, we're going to be back. Assuming you show us enough
better make
love.
some noise.
Make some noise.
Ben Woods.
You better make some noise.
Woods.
Or we are not coming back.
Back after traffic on 97.3 The Fan. We are 50 days out for the Major League Baseball trade deadline. A couple of pieces yesterday. Jim Bowden in The Athletic talking about some of things that he expects to see over the trade deadline. And Buster Olney, I assume it was the real Buster and not hacked Buster Olney, posted an ESPN Plus piece.
I saw it. He said, okay, if I get unlimited prison sentence, who will come and bring panties?
No, this was actually... He actually had a
big scoop on the trade deadline.
Yeah, huge.
His take on it, and he spoke to other executives around baseball, and I thought this was kind of interesting. He said he expects the Yankees and Phillies to be the two most all-in teams. Yankees know they've only got Soto guaranteed for this year. The way they're playing, they can't really afford not to go all out to try to win the World Series.
Oh, you mean you don't trade for Rich Hill and Scott Barlow?
Yeah. The Phillies, meanwhile, are...
G-Man Choi? That's not going to get it done.
They've come so close the last couple of years, and they're off to the best start in franchise history. They're another team that's all in. But he said other executives don't necessarily think the Dodgers are an all-in team, which seems weird because they are the most all-in team in the offseason with how much they spent. But the point that they made was, yeah, but they're just as good next year and the year after that and the year after that. They don't need to mortgage anything because they're going to continue to be good year after year. They should stick with their plan rather than make any midstream changes to what they're doing.
Now, you said that yesterday too, and I find it insane. When you're looking at this team here in San Diego, what do we always say? Well, and I realize, is their core much younger than our core in LA? Their core? No.
Older.
When we do it, we have to. We cannot waste another year of Manny's prime or Xander's prime and Tatis getting, all of this. When the Dodgers, no, just stick to the decade-long plan. What is their goal? To try to win one World Series? I don't think so. They have not won a full season championship since 1988. While in that time, I would bet my house that since 1990, they've spent the most money, right? Them Yankees close,
probably
pretty close. Yeah. And Yankees have one in that, let's call it the year, what year do you want to say? 1990? Yankees got a bunch. Dodgers have one.
Yankees have four.
Dodgers have none
have zero
since
really.
1988, right? Not in a full season is the qualifier. I don't know that there's some grand plan for the LA Dodgers other than to try to win a World Series with Mookie and Freddie and Clayton and all the guys that they have. Yeah, they've got guys locked up long term, guys like Ohtani and people like that, but they don't think they're all in to try to win a championship this year.
The Dodgers are in the weird spot, though, in that they don't, unlike the Padres, they don't have to shove all in just to make the playoffs.
No, but they
know they're getting there.
They do have holes, and they have faltered in the playoffs every year. Why wouldn't they want to?
But they've tried that. They've acquired superstars at the deadline, Manny Machado, to try to become a better playoff team. That didn't work out for them, too. They've tried a number of different strategies, and they all end up failing in October. They've gone the consistent route. They've gone the superstar route. They've gone the bullpen route. They have made moves. They have not made moves. They have tried everything, and nothing works for them when it comes to October.
Yeah, I fully expect them to go out and get a shortstop. I fully expect them to go out and get bullpen depth. I don't know that they need another starting pitcher, but everybody wants one. I fully expect them to be active.
The two teams to watch, according to Buster, are the Mets and the Blue Jays. And Eno told us about the Blue Jays as well. If and when those teams decide to start trading players, there are very few players on those teams that are not available.
Wow.
There will be lots of interest in lots of players on both of those teams. But because, especially in the National League, there's such a logjam around the playoff spot, even the Mets, and Steve Cohen said this week, I feel like we're going to get it going at some point. We're only 3 games out of a playoff spot. There's no reason to be talking about trading and selling off pieces, at least right now.
Yep.
So it doesn't seem like they're anywhere close to starting to make those deals, which leaves you with The same 5 teams that every other team in baseball is trying to pluck from right now. The White Sox, the Marlins, the Rockies, the Angels, and probably the A's. And those are the teams that right now are the trade available teams. And everybody else is still, hey, let's try to win a few games in a row. We go on 1 5-game winning streak right now, and we're in good shape for the playoffs, no matter who you are in baseball at this moment.
Yeah, I do see the Yankees being active, and I do see the Phillies being active. I know they're looking for an outfielder. I mean, that's why that funny Buster tweet about Luis Robert going to the Phillies. I don't know. I mean, that's one I was like, all right. I mean, I don't know what their farm system is like or what it could potentially yield, but I would imagine it's pretty good. You know, what does another team value? What does another team need?
What does the Phillies farm system look like? I mean, they haven't traditionally been.
No, because they've got isn't Dombrowski their GM?
He's more of a
like a Preller.
But Preller is better at building his farm system. But Dombrowski's more of a he's a roster builder. He's a roster builder on the big league level, and he's pretty good at it.
Yep.
But he's not a minor league system builder the way that AJ is. Really, you can combine Dave Dombrowski and AJ Preller into the greatest GM of all time.
You might have the really, really good GM. Meld those two.
AJ Dombrowski.
Yeah.
Dave Preller.
Dave Preller. I'm all in. Dave Preller.
Hire him in a heartbeat.
In a second.
But they complement each other quite well.
Absolutely.
All right, we got a 4-pack of tickets to give away right now to Off-Road Nights Dirt Lifestyle Expo coming June 22nd at North County Mall, Escondido. Grab tickets now at ornscene.com. Escondido.
Will you be there?
At the Off-Road Nights Dirt Lifestyle Expo? I'm not a huge fan of dirt.
I think dirt lifestyle.
I like roads, actually.
Yeah, I like roads too.
Not off-roads, but some people
still want to get you in the desert on one of those
buggies.
More than anything.
Think about it. Every time we drive out to Arizona.
I do too. Every time I just want him in a buggy.
The sand dunes.
I just want to see you do fun stuff.
Call now, 833-288-0973. Third caller.
I'll do anything to get Ben on a sand dune.
Send you to the expo. It's a niche audience, but I know you're out there. Why not get free tickets? Why pay for them? You're going anyway.
Yeah.
Might as well win them from us. 833-288-0973. Back to look ahead to tonight's middle game of the 3-game series against the Oakland A's next year on 97.3 The Fan. Don't forget, last week to sign up for our third annual Ish Chrome Tour Ben & Woods Open. It is next Wednesday. Morning and afternoon shotguns. We got a few more times in the afternoon. Morning's almost completely sold out. Paulie's put it up on our social channels. You can find the sign up or just search Ben & Woods Open on Eventbrite. And you can reserve your spots, get a single, a twosome, a foursome. We'll put you together with other tier ones if you sign up as a single or a twosome. We've got some great sponsors and donors that have contributed some amazing raffle prizes. We've got food all over the place at the tournament. Philo, who is the guy who works the grill at the Goat, he is a great sausage setup. Trust me, it's good. It's good. You'll like his sausages.
I've had his hot dogs before. Same
dogs, sausages. They're kielbasa, brats.
They're ungodly.
They're so good.
They're ungodly.
He's got
good.
the biggest condiment station you're ever gonna want to see. We're gonna have lunch for everybody. We got Virgin beer. We've got you're gonna get VG's donuts. We've got Better Buzz coffee. Is gonna have coffee in the morning.
Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's subs
Maestro
on the course.
Nobel tequila to wash it all down with.
It's gonna be Eco Water.
Eco Water.
SoCal,
yes.
just keeping us hydrated throughout the day. We've called on all of our friends, and they all coming through for us for what should be a fantastic time next Wednesday at the Ben & Woods Open. So last chance this week to sign up, get your name in so we can get everything organized and finalized before next Wednesday. Callaway prizes are amazing, too.
Yeah, 100%.
Golf balls, I don't want to give anything away.
No, so don't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah. We have a heckle
leave some
hole.
surprises.
Yeah, we have a heckle hole. We have a glory hole. It's all kinds of fun stuff.
I think they're going to be back-to-back.
Yeah,
There
I think they are.
was.
The glory hole followed by the heckle hole.
It's going to be great.
It's a lot.
It's
a lot right there.
It's going to be
for
great.
sure. All right, let's check traffic, and we'll come back, take a look ahead at tonight's game against the Oakland A's next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Robert Half. Wrapping things up on kind of a busy note here, guys. Got this two-vehicle accident northbound 15 before Friars Road. It's over the right shoulder. Also, westbound 52 right before the 5. A collision over to the right shoulder. North 5 coastline just before the racetrack. We have reports of some sort of debris in the two left lanes. Southbound side of the 5, just past Santa Fe Drive, there is a collision in the clearing stage. And we've also got this accident on westbound 56, just past Camino del Sur. That's been cleared into the center divide. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Our recruiting professionals use proprietary AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Not much change in the logjam of the wild card standings last night. The Giants pulled out a 3-run bottom of the 10th to beat the Astros 4-3. So they now have that third wild card spot right on the heels of the Padres, who are just behind the Atlanta Braves. Tonight, Padres will go for their 4th win in 5 games when they host the A's again. Randy Vasquez going to be on the mound. Threw pretty well his last time out. He's always had a little bit of ups and downs as he's continued to be the spot starter, filling in, I guess, technically for Joe Musgrove in the rotation. J.P. Sears will be the left-handed starter, I believe, for the Oakland A's. 4-5 record, 3.93 ERA. They've actually, as Mark Kotze told us yesterday, gotten pretty decent pitching. The offense has been inconsistent for the A's, but they've gotten good starting pitching, and with a lefty on the mound, see if the Padres can overcome their season-long issues against left-handers tonight.
Yeah, JP he's a bit of a thumber, if you would. I mean, he throws mostly a sweeper. His four-seam fastball it's not that firm. It's about 92, which is kind of what the dude was throwing last night, averaging 92, 93. Works a decent changeup in there as well. But, he's not a guy you can go up there and sit fastball on, really, Benny. His breaking stuff is really good. Breaking stuff is really, really good. So he's going to kind of thumb you to death. And, I don't know what the scouting report on the San Diego Padres is for him. Just that, hey, I'm left-handed, so
we've seen some softer throwing left-handers do
damage
more than well against the San Diego Padres.
That's exactly right. So again, don't want to put the fear of God into anyone, but yeah, I'm looking at this game going, oh boy, all right.
Had a couple of injury updates from Mike Schilt last night. Talked about Xander Bogaerts going to be getting another CAT scan. You probably on the next road trip. A month out from his first one. They think he's been progressing pretty well, but that'll give him a better idea as to when a possible return might be available. They say Xander's been getting footwork in.
Like massages?
No,
Oh.
like at second base. Like work on his, a mirror image footwork, covering the bag, things that he's had to learn on the fly as he switched his position in spring training. Now, he can't throw, he can't bat, but he can go out there and at least, shuffle around and, pretend to take throws and which direction and which instincts, you're supposed to run in the right direction when a ball gets hit. So they've been working on that, Mike Schultz says, during his time down. And he's been tracking the ball so he can, hold a bat without swinging. So just kind of stands in the cage. And you wonder what kind of work goes into being a Major League Baseball player. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about you're injured. You can't take batting practice, but it's worth it to just get in there as pitches are thrown so you can track the spin, watch them closely. Just would I have swung at that one? Would I have not swung at that one? Strike or ball. That's part of the work that goes in even when a player is injured.
You don't do that when you watch a game?
What do you mean?
Like when you watch a game now, you don't do what I've swung, what I've not? I play every pitch of every game, oftentimes on my feet, like with the fake bat, trying to every time.
No.
Like, oh, no, you don't
do that.
Oh.
I just look at the box on the screen and go, oh, it was outside. I shouldn't have swung.
Shouldn't have swung.
In the zone, I should swing.
Interesting.
Yu Darvish is getting closer. He continues to throw as he recovers from his groin strain. There's talk of him coming back pretty soon. I think he's eligible in just a few days to return from the injured list. Now, I looked at the Padres' starting rotation, and if you wanted to, with an off day on Thursday, you could bump everybody up a day and skip Adam Major and have Yu Darvish come back as late as next Monday in Philadelphia without having anybody pitch on short rest or anything.
Who would pitch in Philadelphia?
So right now it's Vasquez today and Michael King tomorrow.
Okay.
Then it's an off day. Matt Waldron is going to pitch on Friday
against
the Mets. And now if you wanted, you could move Dylan Cease up from Sunday to Saturday, and that would be a normal 4 days rest because of the off day. Then you can move Randy Vasquez up to Sunday against the Mets on normal rest, and you could move King then up to Monday against the Phillies, and then you'd have a spot where you need someone else. You could wait and put Yu Darvish in as late as next Tuesday in Philadelphia if you think he'll be ready by then, and you don't have to throw Adam Major out for another start. Now, maybe they do want to throw him out for another start. I don't know.
Yeah, it would be a matter of who you want to start him against, and I don't know that.
Right now, he's set to start against the Mets on Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'd rather him throw against the Mets.
But what about not at all? He wouldn't.
Or not at all.
If they think you will be back by Tuesday, but not necessarily by Saturday, you could do that. Or I don't know if you is eligible for Saturday. If he can come back on Saturday, it might be Sunday because I think they went on the injured list on that Saturday. Was it Friday or Saturday?
I don't know. You're working this out
the 15 days
live on the radio.
I know it's coming up soon though.
This is actually live on the radio.
Actually, it was Wednesday.
Could it have been Wednesday?
7 days. I think a week.
You see where I'm going here, though.
You're trying to prognosticate.
I'm trying to skip over Adam Major and not have him.
You really are.
Start. Why do you hate Adam Major?
Well, Paulie, it's because he gave up 8 runs in his last start. And I don't trust that it's going to go any better if he goes back out there again. Is that negative of me?
Yes,
a little bit.
It is.
I mean, but if you want to be a baseball GM or a manager, you can't always just have blinded faith in all of your players. Sometimes you have to evaluate and go, I don't think this guy's quite ready yet. If we can avoid starting him again, maybe we should get him back for a little more seasoning.
Well, I think it's all dependent on when Yu Darvish comes back, and I think you also never know what could happen from now until then. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to put anything in stone as far as moving guys up and moving guys back. But as long as regular rest isn't interrupted, right? And I don't think it would be. Then I think that's okay.
Yeah, I think when you have the opportunity to get starters a 5th day of rest during the season, because you haven't had that many off days, you do want to take it. So you can't just simply skip over every off day and turn it into a 4-man rotation.
Yeah.
Would this be a spot, though, maybe where you could think about doing that? Especially, as I mentioned, Padres will have extra off days later in the year compared to some of the other teams. Maybe this is a time where you get a little more aggressive when you're thin on your starting pitching, and you ask Dylan Cease to go a day earlier on normal rest. Not Not short rest. Just normal rest, as if there was no off day on Thursday.
Sammy Levitt with a really nice tweet here, Benny, and I don't know if it's nice, but it's good and it's informative. Padres lead Major League Baseball with a .262 team batting average, but they're hitting .229 against left-handed pitching. Now would be a good time to get going against lefties. The next 4 opposing starters: left-handed J.P. Sears today, Hogan Harris, left-hander, Wednesday, Sean Manaea, old friend, on Friday, left-hander, and Jose Quintana on Saturday, left-hander. 4 straight lefties coming at you. So you got to figure it out. You have to. Or, you're potentially staring down. What are we? We're back to 500.
Back to 500.
Yeah. So
you don't want to go back to a season low 4 games under 500.
By the way, you split these next 4. Guess where you are? You're back at 500. So you're gonna have to figure it out. And this is a bit of an Achilles heel for this team this year.
Would you take?
Don't ask me.
Splitting the next 4 against lefties? I mean, these are the A's and the Mets. These are teams under 500.
The answer is no.
You're supposed to be beating. But then it's 4 lefties, and they have not done well against lefties.
No. All at home. Not that it matters.
And then you have to go to Philly. I mean, that's the tough series right there.
I don't take that.
You want better.
I want more. Always want more.
Well, it starts tonight. See if they can get game 2 of the series, and then they'll put themselves, I think, in the position the 6th time this year where they're going for a sweep. They have not been able to capitalize on the first 5, but you can't get there until you win the.
Got to win tonight.
Until you win the second one.
Yeah, let's keep the guys that are swinging it well, keep them hot, and get some of the other guys going. It's probably going to be a pretty. Mike Schultz really likes matchups, so you're probably going to see a very heavy diet of right-handed hitters tonight. So those guys got to get the job done. And of course, Michael, who's on the bump? Randy Vasquez. Yeah, I mean he needs to just keep us in it. Keep us in it and score some runs early off J.P. Sears. Yeah, I mean, again, you should not be this nervous about a freaking game against the A's in June, but here we are. And that's like we talked about last week, that's the not beauty of following and being, madly in love with a 500 team. Every loss just feels magnified. So it's been really hard for this team to string wins together. You got to start sometime. Why not now?
The College World Series, 8 teams are set. There's not any West Coast representation this year. It's 4 SEC teams.
Shocker.
And 4 ACC teams.
Shocker.
Might as well be like a mini conference challenge.
Exactly.
As opposed to a true College World Series. Nothing from the Pac-12.
Any
nothing
major
from the Big
surprises
West.
in there?
I don't really know college baseball well enough to call anything a big surprise.
Florida, I think, was a surprise, but they rolled through.
That was the Clemson upset that they pulled off in extra innings over the weekend. That was an exciting game, to be sure. And it's a great event every year. I've never been, but I've heard people who go to Omaha and the College World Series say it's pretty. They do it really well.
It's delivered, man.
Every single
the college
year.
baseball that I've seen and the highlights that I've seen this year has absolutely delivered. The games are insane with some of the crazier things that you'll see on a baseball diamond. But I haven't gotten super into it.
I do think it's a concern when you see some of these college coaches like throw a pitcher for 80 pitches one day and then bring him back for 50 the next day because they've got to win these super regional games. It's like, God, these guys are going to get drafted. They would never do that in the big leagues, in the minor leagues.
Do you remember C.J. Nitkowski?
Yeah.
I remember him
Tigers.
as pitcher.
Yeah.
Texas Ranger. He tweeted something the other day about a 13U game that they had a kid out there. He threw 137 pitches.
Oh, wow.
137 pitches. Which I thought was like against the rules.
If you're not asking,
having so many arm
if you're
injuries?
not asking professional players to do it, don't ask kids to do it.
Correct.
I think that's a pretty simple rule of thumb that every youth, high school, and college coach can follow.
Couldn't believe it.
If a pro team wouldn't ask it of their professional players who they are paying, don't ask your kids to do it either.
Yep.
All right, that's it for us. We are done. Annie and Elston are coming up next. Got our Wednesday show coming up tomorrow at 6 o'clock, Big League Wednesday. Where in the world is Adam Jones at some point? For Paulie Reindl, our executive producer and imaging director, and Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Tuesday from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.